Dimp Digital presents Idle Game Chat.
Cool.
Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Adkins here to guide us through his experience of the 2025 Game of the Year at the Game Awards. The most winningest game in history.
Unbelievable.
Never has a game got so many awards. He's played through it. I think it was The Last of Us.
Oh yeah,
I believe.
Last of Us or Last of Us Part 2?
Last of Us Part 2, sorry.
Oh, right.
I believe that's the case. In fact, I'll look it up as you're waffling at some point. So, yeah. So obviously he's done well at that particular awards ceremony, and we'll see. He's probably on for the quad. Could be on to get the BAFTA. Could be on to get DICE. Could be on to get GDC, and that will tie up with the Game Awards. I think it already got the golden joystick, so the Five Peak Grand Slam is on for Expedition 33. I've had a little chat about it many months ago. Got it at launch. It was on Game Pass, but at that point I'd kind of opted out of the Xbox.
Was it day one on Game Pass? Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was sitting on there.
Striking out a deal.
And I just bought it on PS5 because I was like, it's probably going to take me more than a month to get through this. Well, it's not the longest game, which is kind of works in its favour.
No, I expected longer.
But yeah, you've come about a bit late. I assume it's the hype of the awards, not necessarily the awards because you was playing it before that, but it was nominated. And
far off though. That's why I'm just. It may look weird. I'm looking up. I'm just looking at my Steam stats. I wanted to see when I started it. I started it on the 21st of November, so late in the year, very late in the year.
Yeah, and worked your way through it.
It was a act of hype train. Hearing many people talk about it, top of people's list. It was talked all about, and then when the nominations came out for Game Awards, it was like, cool. This is one I do need to get to see if it lives up to the hype. Yes. And so I got it done and I completed it. Reached the end on the 29th. Cool, fuck me. So when's that? I started the 20. I'd completed it in 8 days.
Crikey.
36 hours, which, people will spend more, but I managed to smash 36 hours in 8 days, which is...
It's pretty good going.
Pretty good for me, yeah.
It's because you finished this obviously late November, and I said let's hold off until after the Game Awards.
Oh, cool!
So we can bask in the glory, and it'll go out on the January episode. So you've had some time to marinate. You've seen all the awards come flying in. Probably many more to come. Let's take it back a step or two. Cards on the table now. Tricky with this one because Sandfall's debut game, so no real pedigree to be looking at and saying, well, that's good. I suppose it's more of a genre thing. It isn't. It's a role-playing game that happens to play a little bit like a Japanese role-playing game, but it's made in France, so it's not really a JRPG, but it is what you'd see, I think, more traditionally. It's not like a Western real-time, Bethesda's type RPG. It's more of what you'd see coming out of usually on the Eastern Front. But your experience in that particular realm of turn-based, other than the Pokemon games?
Pokemon games, no. A little bit of Final Fantasy. I did get 3/4 of the way through Final Fantasy 13.
Cool.
Was it 13? Is that the one with the lass?
Yeah.
Lightning or whatever her name was.
Or 9.
Yeah,
I think it's 13, yeah.
13. That is strictly turn-based. Yeah, not normally my cup of tea, to be honest. I'm not a turn-based guy. My bread and butter is probably hack and slash. Certainly action adventure with, not hack and slash. But I do love a hack and slash, I must say. Yeah, not my bread and butter. But Yeah. This game did remind me of. Do you remember when Forspoken come out and it weren't called Forspoken? It was just like a game. Wasn't it like made by a few of the devs? Or a lot of people thought it was going to be another Final Fantasy game, didn't they?
Right,
I remember this coming out and thinking it was going to be the same sort of ilk. Like, oh, this is going to be made by a load of old Final Fantasy devs, but. Doesn't seem to be. No, it's just taken a lot of inspirations from many franchises and many games of that ilk. But no,
I mean, funny enough, the founding kind of group, a lot of them were at Ubisoft before.
Oh,
so you wouldn't have aligned that to them.
No, they ain't got any. I suppose I'll tell you what they have got. They've got Mario versus Rabbids. Oh, that's a strategy game, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's your turn-based. But no, no cards on the table on this, but not my normal cup of tea in terms of combat. But what did whet my appetite was the use of a parry system.
Yeah.
I heard this combat wasn't your typical turn-based combat. It was a bit more involved, much to my delight. But yeah, in terms of cards on the table, there's not really much there. I've got anything. So yeah, sort of went in a bit, not blind, because there'd been so much hype and I'd been reading into and things and stuff. So went in sort of knowing what I was going to get into, and yeah.
Well,
I don't know if you want to start with combat.
Well, as well, yeah. Let's start with the combat, because that's certainly one of the. It's the turn-based RPG, so you're going to be doing a lot of combat. But yeah, talk us through at high level what because you said you're not really into these normally, and Pokemon's turn-based is kind of like.
Yes,
you're basically one-shotting things, and if you're not one-shotting them, you're not playing the game right to a certain point. Whereas this is a bit more traditional in that you need to figure out your builds and whatnot. But it does come with that added wrinkle of parrying and dodging and a bit more activity when you're on the defence.
Yeah,
and on the attack, there's a little what they call QTEs, isn't there, to like boost. Like,
you get QTEs, yeah. I've got to say, this is maybe not. Something's died. The combat is possibly the strongest part of the game for me. I really enjoyed it. It really clicked with me. I'm going to say something now that could be seen controversial.
Oh God!
I would say
cancel him.
It has the second best parrying system of any game ever. Second to only Sekiro. But I thought that the snappiness and the weight behind the parrying system. People will say fucking Bloodborne, that riposte, but who's pulling that off left, right, and centre? No cunt, it's well hard to do that.
Yeah,
whereas this, the feedback you get from hitting a perfect parry, the sound design, just the snappiness of it, being able to do it, and the timing as well. When you first pick it up, you're like, oh, fucking hell. But once you start to get the rhythm, I just found it so satisfying, and it didn't really bore of the combat, to be honest. Like you say, you're totally engaged because you're fed with different QTE prompts and stuff, and then they change up the enemies. It's interesting. You sort of have to learn their patterns. When you go into these battles, you learn their patterns, and then 2 minutes later, there's a new enemy that you've got to learn. But you're mixed in with other enemies that you have memory of a previous pattern.
Yeah.
And it's sort of trying to remember. It's one of those games that if you took a long break through and then came back, I'm sure you'd get your ass kicked. You'd be like, oh, fuck, I forgot that one does that.
Yeah. Because they feint you and they start to get really clever with trying to fuck you over and stop you from parrying or dodging. And
there's even fucking fly.
Yeah. Even the audio cues, they fucking... That's what I used a lot. Yeah. I had headphones on for a lot, and that helped massively because I started picking up on little, it's coming. Like you'd hear a little sweep I wouldn't even be watching sometimes. I'd be just listening and using that.
Yeah.
But get more and more complex as things go on. So yeah, the defensive side of things. Did you ever long for just being able to take one round off though and not get decimated? Like if you would you have? Because my thing was, could they have not added a guard that you could put up? You press one button, it guards you, and then you take, I don't know, 60% less damage, just so you can have a fucking round off. Or is that ruin the high stakes of it? Yeah,
they do it. So why can't you? Yeah, you should be able to. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, you should be able to give you a bit of plan as well. I quite like that the characters all played differently as well. They had their own sort of play styles and different moves. The weapons you could change up a bit as well, but but the bread and butter of it was, like you say, turn based. It's mixed in. It's not like a hack and slash Devil May Cry. I mean, you've got the score system in a lot of it. I think there's one character, was it? Yeah. Who was the character where you had to? Was it get his name? We won't be going into spoilers, but like me, I've only played it 2 months ago. It's all gone. It was Ben Starr's character.
Was it Verso?
Verso, that's it. One, yeah. His moves. Well done. That's good. His character, you had like a Devil May Cry score system, so be like sort of D to A, and then once you really got the combos up, then you get into S rank, and he's like obviously the higher the rank, the more damage you do.
Yes.
And there's a limit to the damage you can do. So it's, like you say, you do get to a point where you start to sort of one-shot enemies.
Yeah.
But it's sort of a bit late, really, sort of towards the back end of the game when you're sort of starting to get OP, and then it's all said and done. But no, I've got to say, I did thoroughly enjoy the combat of this game. Definitely, like I say, it's the strongest part, I feel, of the game, and kept me engaged for the full 36 hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about because this sort of blends into the combat, is how you kind of put your build of each character together, either with the weapon. Not so much of the weapons, there's a little bit you can do there, but it's more about the Pictos system where you can apply, is it up to 3 or 4 per character?
That's right, yeah.
And you can really get crazy with some synergies of your character, and also if you're clever enough, there's people with builds out there where the whole squad is just an absolute god squad, and just like a burn squad that just completely fries everything after one turn, pretty much. Like, you can get really creative with it.
Oh, you really can, yeah. It's a bit of a double-edged sword, that Pictos.
It's almost too much, because I thought, what the hell am I doing here?
Yeah, it's very overwhelming at first. Fuck me, the amount of Pictos you get. You've got to walk down the road 10 centimetres, you've got 9 new fucking Pictos to pick through. You must spend half the fucking game in those menus just going like, right, what are we doing here? And a lot of them carry some great buffs. I mean, from a game like this, I'd like to just look up and go, right, give me a build and I'll work towards that.
Yeah.
Because when I've got so many options, I don't do well with options. I need to be told. I'm a sheep, not a leader.
You're always concerned that you might fuck it up, and then
that's right.
You can't get past something. But
I think there was something. What was it? I was getting damaged at one point for something I was doing, and I was like, "Fuck!" I did this move, and I was like, "Oh!" And then it weren't until I looked into my Pictos, and one of them was like, "Yeah, do a certain move, will do damage, but if not, if it doesn't hit, it'll be damaging you." I was like,
yeah.
So you really have got to be on the ball with that sort of thing. But no, it does give you a plethora. Like I say, it's a double-edged sword, because there's a plethora of things you can do and work around. But it's one of those things where when it comes at you, you're like, fuck, all right, what the fuck? And it can be very overwhelming, to be honest.
Yeah. And also, go on, sorry.
No, I was going to say, I think we're about to talk about the same thing. Then there's like that other thing that you can put onto the picture, and you've got what was like the highlight things? You had points that you could put into.
Yeah.
That was it.
Those luminous points.
Luminous points, that's it, cool. I'm glad you were on the ball. It's all gone out the fucking brain.
Making it up, I think.
So that was another system added into the combat. And
I didn't use that for about 15 hours, because I didn't even know it was there. And then I was like, I can go in here and like put like permanent passives on. Like, right, okay. I need to go through this then and figure it out.
And it also works for pictos that you haven't got equipped, doesn't it? So if you do,
that's the main benefit of it, that you haven't got to take one of your slots and you can just have it in there. There he is. But yeah, it took me a while to figure that one out. I think I must have missed the tooltip that came up. So I remember seeing it mentioned, and I never went in the menu, and then I went in there, and I was like, "Oh, fuck me!" There's a whole. And you can upgrade the amount of points you can spend using some resource. I can't remember what it's called now.
That's right.
You can work through that. But again, that's another layer of. That's something you don't want to meddle with really turn to turn. You want to just go right. I want these. I think I was making up the parry windows larger for people and trying to just do stuff that I thought would just work, and then I have to leave, but. The amount of tinkering you can do is insane just with those two bits alone. Yeah. Then you factor in your party and the companions. They all play completely differently. Yeah. You have to learn, how many is there? 6 or 7? I can't remember how many there is in total. Maybe up to 8.
On the front cover, isn't there?
But they've all got a completely different way of working, and you've got to figure out a way to manage that. Fortunately, I found the game not hard. Like it weren't overly punished. Early stages, I was like, cool, I'm getting my fucking pants pulled down here. But once I got my eye in, I was like, okay, even if I've got a really shitty build or a shitty party composition, you could kind of work your way through it. And the fact of the matter is, if you parry and dodge everything, you could take no damage if you're good enough. So you can, you can beat the game. I think
most of the times, if I died or was because I was fucking those. Towards the end of like bosses when they're doing their phases, there'd be like a QTE event and it'd be the fucking up there and I'd be like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Or they fall over or something and hit like splash damage at the end.
That's of course,
you can jump as well. Forgot about that.
That's right. Yeah, you got the jump mechanic, dodge mechanic, parry system.
Yeah. Pictos, luminous points, and then each party member has its own style that you. Did you stick with like a composition, or was you trying to change people around?
No, I did stick, to be honest. I tried each of the characters just but I think because I was role playing it in my head and that where the story was going, the sort of newcomers to the story. Sort of, I played with them a bit. I was like, nah, I feel like I should stick with these guys because they've been here since the beginning.
Yeah.
So
the OGs.
I think I left out, even though he's probably one of the coolest characters, was Monoko.
Mate.
It's Monaco.
Yeah.
But he's a cool character. But yeah, so he got left out. And the other girl, CL, is it?
Yeah.
The one with the cards. Does she have cards? Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't worked out how she worked at all. I just sort of got through it when I had her in. I was like, I think I've got this right. I've got to throw these sort of cards on, and then it's going to multiply my damage, and then
it.
I don't know what I was doing. I got through it though. It's Monoko. Yeah, he was my favourite.
A woolly bastard. Yeah, he was. So was he in your team from the once he turns out?
Pretty much, because he was interested in that. You would get skills, like he had a stock set of skills to start with, and the only way you could learn more skills was for him to be in the party where you defeated enemies.
Right, yep.
So in theory, you could go around and defeat every enemy type, then you'd get all of his skills, and you can put them in. But I just enjoyed like his little wheel that he had. So he had like a little wheel.
Oh, cool.
It would spin, and it would land on like a type of an attack. Green, it was like little color coded. And then that type of attack or type of ability would be buffed on your turn. So you could be risky and put all like red style abilities in, and if it landed on red, you would fucking be able to open them up. But he was powerful. Like I got him to a stage where he was pretty clutch towards the back end. He was a good lad. But yeah, I was trying to swap him around just to try and learn it, and then also I was concerned about them falling behind in the levels because they get some XP but not the full amount.
They do. So, no, that's right. Yeah, I had that
to rotate them in.
Oh, I'll tell you that because it must have been later on in the game. There was a boss that sort of took out a couple of my. They must have took out my whole party because then it gave me a chance to use the other two that I hadn't used. And and then when they came in, I was like, oh fuck, they're about to sort of 5 or 6 levels under what the rest of these are. I was like, oh, bloody hell. I think I did manage to just scrape through that fight, but you really have got to be switching them to keep them up. But yeah, unfortunately, I did sort of have a team and stuck with that.
No, I mean, you got to do what you got. It happens. I think that happens in a lot of.
And he's a fucking foot fetish man as well, isn't he, Monaco?
I say he collects their feet. That's what where his abilities come from. He collects the enemy's feet, so that's what he uses.
Good lad.
Dirty bastard.
He's like Tarantino.
Any other business on combat or
that so the swords and stuff, like you get new weapons, but again, that was sort of stat based. I found like they weren't really. It weren't changing your fucking gameplay up too terribly. It was just more of a sort of.
Some would come with like a perk with them, like you do 10% more burn damage, or there'd be like small things like that. I never found a value in upgrading an existing weapon because you'd upgrade it by a level, then you'd find something 3 levels above that.
That's right.
Next time, so it's kind of like it seems like a waste of resource. Yeah. There's charging silly prices. Some of those blacksmiths or whatever they're called. That's an absolute rip off. But
no, I think that's pretty much combat covered off. Nothing else sticks out to mind.
How did you find I guess the way in which you roam around the world, and what I mean by that, you've got an overworld with this nice little map, and then you've got the zones that you go into, which are like the levels that you'll explore, narrative reasons or for side quests or fucking jumping puzzles for some reason.
Yeah.
Did you? How'd you get on with all that?
I mean, when that first opened up, I was like, "Cool, here we go. This is Final Fantasy VII." When you open the world and like, oh wow, it's quite cool. You're running around this world, sort of like an open world, and it's sort of the world map.
I see you scaled down.
It's scaled down, and you can run into enemies there. There's loot that's open. Looks fantastic, brilliant. One thing it needs a few things, but this again is. We're going to say double-sided sword because, you've got the gloriness of this big open world you can explore and everything. There's different zones, hidden areas you can go. But you ain't got no fucking mini-map to tell you where you are. You can look at your map. You've got a map you can press, and it's a bit of a fog of war when you first start. And you open it up and you can walk about. If you go into an environment and complete that such quest, like you say, you go in and there's fucking these... I can only describe them as PS1 level map design.
Yeah.
Remember you used to make your own skate parks on like fucking
on Tony Hawk's. Yeah.
It's like someone trying to make a platform fucking level out of one of those. When you go into them, the only thing to symbolise that has been not even completed. Once you enter it, it tells you the name of that area. There is no marker or anything to say that section is done or nothing. And there's quite a few places to go, and there's many places you can go that you can't, that are over leveled for you. They are end game tutters. And many a time I walk in and thought, oh, this looks nice and pretty. Walk in dead straight away. And then I thought, all right, I'll leave that. I'll come back to that. But because there's no checklist or a journal or anything like that tells you what's left to do by the end of the game, because I've unlocked so many now, I've got no fucking clue where I've been or what I've done. So I was a bit like,
that basically stopped me from playing on afterwards and doing a clear down. So once I figured out that if you went into a zone and came out of it, it marked the name on the map. Yeah, I stopped going into a zone unless I was about to go in and finish it. And then you say, well, how do you know about the levels of the enemies? And I figured out that if you're under leveled, it would say danger as you're entering. That's right. Yeah. So if I saw those, I'd just turn around and go back. But it's hard to. Man, there's a lot because there's a lot there to do.
There's a lot, there is a lot.
There's like side quests and stuff for you to complete, and I think I told this story when I was talking about it. But I got a side quest about returning some item off some random villager in like that little, or those they're not little, those little fucking.
Oh, what
people.
they call? Oh,
God.
I keep going to say Genshins. It's not.
No, I was going to say gerbils, but
It's something with a G, isn't it? We probably should have done our research. Hold on, I've got it here. Clair Obscur Expedition.
they're not gerbils.
Hello. It is
Cool,
something like
gerbils.
that, isn't it? Expedition. Gestrels.
Gestrels.
Dirty old
I went to their village and some guy wanted something, and then about, I don't know, 10 hours later I found it,
Right, yep.
and then I went back to the village and I was like, I don't know who this is for. I literally can't remember who this is for. I spent about 20 minutes going around just talking to random people. Couldn't find them, and I was like, oh, it's fucking bin it. Like,
That's it, yeah. That is a downside to the game. That certainly with that, it needs a journal, a checklist, and that's something that could easily be patched in.
yeah, and it's not like it breaks the point of the game. I don't think the game's designed to be this like, oh, discover things, and like it's not like an Elden Ring or
no, exactly. No, it's not like that. No, not at all.
Bizarre.
So it's weird this like that, and then I mean we won't go into environmental detail yet because that is impressive. But the other thing you alluded to as well was how do you find getting through the maps? I mean, it is in need of a mini map within the areas because, like you say, the way this game is structured is you are going from they're like basically like levels, aren't they, that you go to in this open world. So the next mission, it will give you a waypoint or just stick a sort of icon on the next area that you need to go to where that main mission will be. And when you go into that level, you have no mini map of where to go. And the levels are pretty much lineal.
Yeah, they are.
They are a few different paths you can take, a little bit of exploration. The trouble I found with that is where I was like trying to check every nook and cranny, I kept shitting myself thinking if I go down there and I'm going to go into a cutscene, then that's just blocked me off and I can't go back.
Yeah.
So in that sort of circumstance, I think a mini-map would have been heavily sort of, useful. So you can then check and go, all right, well, obviously that's where my objective is if I go this way. But again, that's another thing, like you say, it's not it's not going to fucking break the game with you having on there. It's only a sort of quality of life improvement that they should have probably had done, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like a mini map that had a fog of war, so you could just see where you had and hadn't been, or something like that. And we got through it. I think. Yeah. It seemed like an odd mission.
But so that's two little bits of mini map and journal. That's what needs on this. But the actual levels and environments, like I say, they are very linear. So if it's someone going into this open area world, in terms of like you say, an exploration standpoint, it certainly isn't an Elden Ring where you're going off and finding your own waypoints and getting sidetracked by this and that. That can happen, but no, a little bit of structure probably would have helped to go, right, here's where you can go, or here's where you go later.
Journal minimum, I'd say, but not to be for Sandfall. Let's talk about these environments then, because the game is fucking gorgeous. And the level art, however you want to frame it, is fantastic in many ways.
Very fantastic. Yeah, that is one of this thing that this game is rich in is sort of style and its environment. Flair. I mean, to be fair, I really thought this game, because I think I've mentioned on the pod before, when I went to Paris, I fucking hated Paris. I had a very bad experience there. I mean, from the second I got there, I think I must have been scammed about 8 times. I think I was pickpocketed about 4 times. And I was like, do you know what? I fucking hate Paris. I really hated my time there. It's very detriment to the city, because it is a nice city. I just had a bad time. And then French hate those English as well, so that didn't help.
The feeling's mutual.
Yeah, but yeah. So when I heard about this game, I thought it was going to be sort of that Paris shut down your throat. And
Yeah.
to be fair, once you leave the opening area, which is obviously walking through Luminaire, which is essentially Paris, their version of Paris.
Yes.
To be fair, I completely forgot that this game was sort of based around, so it was set in Paris, to be honest, because you're off in this fucking adventure and everything looks different. So I quite like that it wasn't that shoved down your throat, but boy, did this world, scream of fucking art. It's one of the most visually stunning, and you got to remember that this is going to be a source of contention, indie game. People saying, well, does that qualify?
Disqualified from the Indie Game Awards 2025 not for that. It's because they got there was some AI.
That's right. I did see that.
Graphics or textures.
They took it out. They had to patch it out, didn't they?
That's
or something.
I think it was like a week after it came out, or 5 days or something. And they said, nope, you had it in there.
It's just, there's a lot of talk about all this sort of generative AI stuff, and that it's a taboo subject, sort of, like
it chaps people's asses. It does.
It really does, yeah. And then you see these fucking companies going into crunch and fucking making them work all this time, and they're going, if we use this will make our lives a little bit easier. No, can't use that. So,
don't think so.
I don't know. It's a bit of a conversation for another day, but yeah, no. In terms of environment and that, this is a real looker, a real stylistic game. The way the environments themselves, they can get a little bit repetitive at times, just because. They change it up with different colours and stuff, but some of the settings you go through, it is an absolute palette of different colours and weird sort of environment. Whoever the environmental designers are, they are very, very imaginative with what they do. And it probably is, to be fair. It's with a mixed palette of fucking multi-colours.
Grok did it.
Grok himself.
At least it left him dressed.
That's quality. But the level design. Some of the level designs. I mean, like, try not to spoil, but just some of them, even early on, from when you first sort of get into the crux of the game. And you're walking through fucking bodies and stuff, and there's all these. There's one big theme from the beginning of this game. It's just soaked in mystery. You haven't got a fucking clue what's going on at first, and you're trying to work stuff out. And then and just like I think the environmental design really adds to that mystery, because you're walking around gulping. The amount of times I've done an E3 slow pan, just looking around. Looking at shit in the distance, or fucking whatever's going on over there, and it is just a fucking glory game. Like, it's just gorgeous. It's one of the best looking games, but one of, it's not the, but looks fantastic, runs fantastic.
You played it on PC, right?
Yeah. Max settings on that fucking powerhouse, 4K. All the bells and whistles. Yeah, it really did look fantastic.
Do you know what I don't know, you probably not. When I was playing it, I was like, this feels unique. That's because a lot of the way the levels are and what goes on and the looks of it. I was like, this is unique, but there was something oddly familiar about it that I couldn't shake. It wouldn't
mind me. Did you play Devil May Cry, did you?
No.
There was Devil May Cry 5.
Right. Because I was going to say, it reminded me of Kenner. And
okay, yeah.
Also, I haven't played it, but South of Midnight.
Right.
Like, there was something about it, and then I happened to look, and they're Unreal games, and I was like, oh, there's something subconsciously between these games that.
I wonder if the DMC. No. The DMC5 be one? Because that's funny. Probably not. See if DMC5 is as well, because I've got to say, I can see what you mean now, certainly with a lot of environments. And yeah, I'm sure those sort of games would have like an engine where they just take
RE
assets
engine for Devil May Cry.
Of course, yeah, it would be when it's Capcom.
Yeah.
So I wonder, that's interesting. So I wonder if they have taken assets from there. You don't get them little black things coming after you.
There's a video that I came across a few weeks ago, and they use stock animations out of the what's name, out of like the Unreal store. Obviously they clean them up and whatnot. But I just remember playing it, thinking I can't put my finger on this, but it reminds me of Bridge of Spirits. And this is much better looking overall. But there's something there's like a DNA
just
to
something
it.
there. Yeah, I wonder if it was because it did have that sort of like. It was, I can't remember what it was, but it was almost a bit of Stranger Thingsy as well, with all the fucking upside down angled shit and all that.
Do you know what it was? I think it was the way your characters moved.
Right, okay, like the animation. Yeah, to be fair.
Where it's a bit like skating.
Yeah.
You know, when you're not grounded in the world, it's not like physics, but and I use like something like Red Dead as the top tier example. But it feels like you're just pushing the character forward and they sort of skate, even though the animations are moving. It's like one of those weird movement things.
What was her name? The other lass. Forget the fucking names of all these people. It all goes out my head the second I finish the game. But the other lass, the main one.
Oh, Mariella.
Not Marielle, no, the other one.
Wow.
The other fit one. Fit one. They're all fit. I'd have a lot of them.
Luna,
well done, Luna. Yeah, well, she floated, didn't she? When you,
yes,
so I can certainly see with that. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, there was this. Let's talk about animations. But yeah, you can feel that this isn't a AAA game. Like there was that level of.
And it wasn't priced at one. Let's be clear.
No,
it was priced very fairly. So it's not It's not one of. If this was 80 UK pounds or whatever's being charged these days, then I think you'd have a case to go, hang on a minute. But I think it was 32 I got it for, and you probably got it even cheaper than that.
21 I think
21,
I paid.
Yeah. So I think it's punching from a production point of view for what it's asking. I think you're right.
But yeah, there was a few little bits of that where I sort of thought, cool. I think a lot of the traversal as well. There was a bit of sort of platforming that you had to do. Obviously, those we've already mentioned those hilarious platform
jumping puzzles.
Beaches. Yeah, that was the jumping puzzles that did get on my fucking tits. It was implemented into the main game as well. There was like there
was one bit
halfway through, and you have to sort of jump onto the top of these sort of rocks that were sort of like platforms, and the amount of fucking times they'd even put ladders on them, like fucking climbing points, because they knew you'd fall off and climb back up again. And yeah, the amount of times where I thought, well, that's just down to shoddy fucking animations that I've gone to jump. Like you try and take a run up and jump, and when you're used to something as fluid as like something like fucking Uncharted or something, you can really. That's where I think it's sort of, independency and AA or whatever you would call this game.
Yeah,
did sort of show up a bit. And it's like, oh, that's annoying.
They could have done without the jumping puzzles. I don't know what it's doing in there at all.
I wonder if because it is just like the combat was so sort of one-dimensional in terms of its.
Yeah.
You're just going from fight to fight. They had to try and add a bit of different I don't know.
I know what you mean. They probably thought it's too one note. We need to just break it up a bit. But stop. I always say stop chucking shit against the walls and put a fucking journal in. I'd be much happier, but alas, Samsung didn't do that. Any other business on graphical? Do you have any problems on the PC technical wise? No crashes or
didn't
slow down? Or much tweaking required to get it running?
I mean, I'm blessed with this absolute monster. Fucking, I'm glad I bought it last year and not this fucking year with all the dog shit.
What's this
RAM business? What have I got now? I'm sitting on a 580.
50,
5080, 5080, and God knows what the processor was. But a year ago, it was, not top of the range, but the second one down from the top of the range. cost over $2,000, so you'd open it, fucking get you something.
Hopefully it can play this double A title at full whack.
Yeah, you'd hope so. It ran pretty flawless. I mean, there probably was a few little performance dips, but that's probably just down to the optimization of the game. This is, at the end of the day, a fucking independent game. But yeah, for the most part, it ran flawlessly. I didn't have any groundbreaking bugs. I don't think it crashed on me either. No, it's more user error, but I'm also going to put it down to animation error.
Which is a bit clumsy, isn't it? It's just one of those.
Yeah.
You're a bit like, hang on a minute.
And there'd be like places like you had the little home at the camp, and you sort of walk around, and there'd be like sections in that sort of camp, and I'd be like, it's just a fucking empty space. Something's got to go here. And then by the end of the game, I was like, nothing did go that little area. I wonder what the fuck that was for.
Yeah.
So, again, like you say, I do feel with this game, there's a lot of FOMO in it where I feel like I've missed like bits, like I said, where I was sort of trying to play this nook and cranny game of checking everything and exploring each little level. Every time I was like, oh, if I go this way, is it? Oh, fuck, it has triggered a cutscene. Oh, now I'm going to have to go back through. I mean, you could go back to some of the levels.
Yeah.
I think one of them even changed once. There was like a level, as we played through, it was like a story mission. And then I accidentally just searching because I was like, oh, I wonder what this is. You can go back into that level. I was like, oh, fuck, there's a new path now. I can go up there.
Oh.
So I think because there's quite a few collectibles in the game. So they did actually change it up a bit. That was quite interesting. I didn't finish those, to be honest, but one of the things you could collect was the expedition flags.
Yes.
For all the different expeditions. And they all came with little like lore pieces. Which
like video, audio diaries and...
That's it, yeah. I thought that was a good collectible. I mean, normally you're fucking just finding fodder, aren't you? And it's like, well, what is this?
Yeah.
But that sort of building out the world, it was quite a fun little thing to keep on top of.
Yeah. What about where you have like these little checkpoint flags between like levels that refill your health, but then also repopulate the area with enemies. So if you want to grind, you can.
Yeah, I did find that very useful. Yeah, certainly at the beginning of the game, like I think straight from the bat, I think it was either the first or second flag I come across. I was like, right, I'm going to do some grinding just to set the ball rolling, just because I thought I was going to be more difficult than it was.
Game.
But yeah, I did find that. Yeah, that was quite good, to be fair. And that gives you a little bit. You could fast travel as well between the different flags. That was quite good. You couldn't fast travel between the levels though, could you? In the open world?
No, I don't think you could in the open world.
No.
You had to just roll around.
Roll around on that fucking big old boy, whatever Blubber boy, whatever his name was. But yeah, those flags. Yeah, they were a nice little breathing room. What is a game that does that? I suppose it is something like Bloodborne, isn't it? Where you get to like the sort of bonfire or whatever, and if you then chose to replenish your health, that respawns all the enemies, and you've got to go fucking back through your route and do that. Yeah. Luckily, this isn't a fucking Souls-like game, and you weren't losing all your points when you die.
No,
so it's quite nice.
And it auto saved as well. That was a big. That's handy.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly for the bosses as well. I think there was one boss that did kill me. I was like, fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Thinking it was going to put me right back and literally just respawn me right outside the room and had to start again. No. You did get options though, didn't you? To sort of, you get like options if you did die to restart the battle or restart it with your current or with a different loadout or something like that. So I think that was an option, wasn't it?
I think you had to go. It was like restart the battle or restart your last save, and then at that point you could then jumble around.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
I think it's Final Fantasy VII. What's that spin-off called that I played? Bloody hell.
Crisis Core.
Yes. That had the best system where literally at the end of it, you could, in that menu, you could be like, I'll change my loadout, I'll change all my material, which was basically Pictos points at that stage. So they're still waiting for other games to like the Persona games. Like Atlas need to pull their head out of their arse and add this.
So that's something.
Shit.
I would say the amount of fucking inspiration this game took from other games. It really is sort of an amalgamation of. I think I did read. I think it was like when I went onto the Samfall's website, and it sort of showed you a couple of the devs and stuff, and it was showing you all their favourite games, and you can really tell that like they took so much inspiration from the likes of Final Fantasy, Persona. Having not played the Persona games, did these games stink of Persona?
In some ways, yeah. Like there was definitely. If you look at the menus you interact with, they're very flashy and clean and like Persona-like. They're not exactly the same. Yeah. They swap them around and they change between each game. But yeah, it's definitely you can see there's influences there from those type of games. But they've done it in a way where it's not a complete rip-off.
No.
It kind of feels unique still. I think that's served them well. That it's not a complete. One-for-one copy job.
Yeah.
They've done a good job of putting their own stamp on it, and I think that's served them pretty well.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Let's move. Oh, go on.
I was going to say we'll move on.
We'll move on to narrative, story, characters.
Narrative, that's exactly what I was going to say. Again, I mean, the characters themselves, I think that is very, very strong. I think, I think this is what I mean. The setting, it's like I said, a game basked in mystery. You don't really know what's going on. It's all a brand new IP, new characters, new world. You're sort of getting used to everything. I will say, the characters I found in this game are very likable. Yeah, it's a good batch of characters. Each one has their own. I feel like you have enough time with each of them as well. They've done the pacing of the game. I felt was very good because they sort of give you enough time to sort of breathe with each character. There was in chapters, weren't there? But each section had like it was sort of you could choose to. Well, not choose, but each section had like a story beat with each of the different characters. And then you could sort of further the lore of each character by going into the camps.
Yes.
And then you could like improve your relationships with them. And that sort of, I don't know, it just felt very, the way they sort of introduced the characters and built their relationship up and built their character. I think they did a really good job with that. The overarching story of the game, I can tell it wouldn't be for everyone. There are some...
Not a Biff game.
Not a Biff game. There are a lot of twists and turns. Probably some will say too many twists and turns, if I'm honest. But and then by the end of it, sometimes you are left with more questions than what you got the answers for. Yeah, it's a bit of a roller coaster of a story. It does seem to sort of have an overarching theme throughout the game, which is that the sort of story entwines itself with. But it definitely, I think it's a good story. I did enjoy the story and stuff, but I wouldn't say it's a faultless story at all. Like I wouldn't say it's.
I think it's got one of the strongest openings to a game ever. Like the prologue, the Gommage, that whole section, which actually, as you're playing through, you think, I'm fucking just walking around chatting to people here. Like, what's going on? And basically, it's everyone gearing up to go to the expedition. There's a festival going on and whatnot. But at the end of that, you were like, "Oh shit, we are. This is the big boy shit." And I'd say it's a
slow start. I think. If someone going in and wanting to go in and have at them, this ain't that type of game. It's a slow burn. But I wholeheartedly agree with you. It reminds me of another certain game, Beginning. I won't say because that'll give the game away. But it did remind me of that. And very, very strong start and sets the scene.
Yeah.
And then I think that's what, like, then it goes into the sort of, I felt like it was pretty paced quite well. I didn't sort of feel too like half through the story, thinking, right, fucking come on, wrap this up now. I'm getting bored of this.
Oh no, yeah.
I think it done a good way, like I say, of building the characters up, giving each character their time to shine and whatnot, and then sort of trying to build the world out and explain the story, get the conclusion of the story. But I think, it sort of overindulged itself a little bit too much, and I don't know. There was just
That's
this
the French
little,
for you.
Yeah,
Just
it
can't
is,
help it. Can you
exactly
see the
that.
way he dressed up for the Game Awards? I mean, overindulging themselves there. For goodness sake.
It's good, but yeah, I've got to say, overall, I was happy with the story. I can see people if they have faults. I can understand that and agree that it's not, there is something missing from it.
I think they could have done more. Like, I know the game's not particularly long, and we was like, oh, it doesn't drag on. There's almost part of me that thought there's more that could have been done. You know, as you in the final act or whatever. Like, there's more. They could have. I feel like there's something there that could have been done to round it out a bit better, but. Obviously, you don't want it bloating out, but honestly, don't think the game would have felt bloated having another few hours worth of, texture in there.
No, that's right. No, they've talked about doing extra DLC, haven't they, with story-based DLC? But whether that will,
that would hurt me.
I'm not sure. But I'm not sure. I think another go round. Yeah, get it done. I think get another go round of it. A sequel that either continues the story. I don't know if I want to continue.
I would walk away from that. I mean, there's stuff they can do. I think they'd have to be careful about what they go for. Because the world they've created, there's tons of shit they could do. There's a whole shitload of stuff they could do. But I think the characters they've got in this one, I don't know about continuing that or going through that. Like, I think you'd have to sort of set it in the universe, but then coming with new perspectives, and maybe there's a way they can tie that back into this one. But equally, I'd be happy if they just said this is a one and done and moved away from it.
There's so many films and IPs that when you look back now, like one that always thinks to me, I don't know, it's completely different. But
what they do with those sequels?
Jaws is a great one. The one that always comes to my head is the Saw franchise. I think that first film is so good and would have been a one and done. But no, they churned out 9 more of them.
I think there's 10 overall, and then there's like Jigsaw, it's like a spin-off.
Yeah, there is, isn't there?
I have seen them all.
And now, that's just,
I'm not helped.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I just think that it's just too much of some things are not good. So maybe that that's one thing I do think about this game. I would like to see Samful get another chance. I'm sure they will now with the moolah they'll be bringing in now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those things you think now, like after what they've done. Second go round. That's it. Yeah, and then and then they can be rightly criticised. Then I think that a lot of the criticisms on this game will go unnoticed because they have that back full of being an independent.
There's only 30 of them.
30 of the bastards.
30 children starving, creating a game. And they've churned out this masterpiece.
They've churned out the dirty French bastards eating snails for lunch.
Is that a lunch, is it?
I had them, they're fucking up.
I bet they're not horrible.
They taste all right. They're just drenched in fucking garlic, see, that's what you can taste.
Yeah.
But it just tasted like a sort of bit of chewy chicken, basically.
I don't think I had any when I went there.
No,
I remember seeing on the menu a calf's head, and I was like, "What are we doing? We got a calf's head?
Calf's head.
What is that? What are you eating? What is a skull? Fucking about €80 as well. It's the most expensive thing on the menu.
Crikey.
They can't be trusted.
Stick to your fucking croissants.
Yeah, nice. I like the baguettes as well. Favorite type of roll or sandwich. I'll definitely take that.
Yeah, take a
Tiger bread runs
baguette.
it close, or tiger roll, but can't really beat a good baguette. In my eyes. The end bits. I love the end bits.
Oh yeah. Oh, I don't mind the end. Yeah, a bit of butter on the knob of the knob end.
My mum used to cut off both the end bits, and that's what I'd have for lunch. I wouldn't have the have the middle bits when I was younger. So I'd have 2 end bits. So there'd be this French bread there with the 2 ends cut off. I'd had my lunch.
Who's at them? He's
done it again. One final thing I think needs to be called out is the audio from voice acting to the score and the composition, like stunning.
I think that's why the characters, the performance,
done a lot of heavy lifting.
Massively, and it's quite funny because got
fucking Andy Serkis in it.
Yeah, you got Andy Serkis. You got fucking Daredevils in there, Charlie Cox, but he didn't fucking do the motion capture, so you've got some French fuck who's doing it. But whoever that French fuck is, he put in a stellar fucking job. He just didn't get. He must have had like a squeaky voice or something. Can't do the voice for it today.
They probably got the day rates for Charlie Cox to do motion capture. It was like, we are an indie studio, we can't afford that.
That's true, yeah.
We are 30 staffing kids.
No, that's exactly right. But yeah, no, you've hit the nail on the head. The audio, first we'll say about the character. I think, the performances, I mean, we're post-Game Awards now. You had Jennifer English, was it, who played Mael? She won. I mean, Ben Starr as Verso, he was quality. Charlie
the new
Cox.
Troy the Boy, and he's getting all the gigs.
Yeah, he gets all the fucking gigs now, doesn't he? He really is the new head, isn't he? Obviously Andy Serkis, a brilliant fucking villain in. His name was.
Who was that? Sorry.
Renoir. Renoir, that was it. Well done, Renoir. He was fucking brilliant.
Butchering all these names. I've forgotten how they pronounced them all in there. I nearly put it on the French voice acting because it came up as an option, and then I think I checked, and there was like, the lip sync's not. It's for English. So I was like, okay.
Fuck.
Glad I did, because I would have lost.
Murd as well, which I remember being in fucking. I remember going to France in '98. I think it was. Yeah, it was World Cup. It was Wakering Primary and learning that murd meant shit.
Yeah.
Up on the back of the bus going, murd.
Well, I liked that. That to me, my head canon was like, these people came from France, obviously originally, you can tell. Yeah. But over time, they've adapted to use. They've started to use English, but they still use French. Specific like terms like murd, and there's a few other things in there as well they keep. Yeah,
there was, wasn't there? Yeah.
So that helped me think, the English VO is the right choice. I've been reading subtitles, so I had no idea if the voice acting's any good or not. Had I put it on the French side of things?
No. But so that's stellar performances, stellar voice acting, and then the music just adds so much to this game. It's one of those games that you think of like. I don't know. Trying to think of a game that's got such fucking, maybe even like a Death Stranding. Like it's got the licensed tracks, whereas this had. Like when you find out what happened, they found someone on Reddit to help write this game. Yeah, and the fucking composer they got off of SoundCloud. Which
I didn't even know SoundCloud existed anymore. I thought that was long gone.
Exactly, it's essentially like fucking MySpace. It's like the newest MySpace. And this composer, wrote the whole fucking thing. Got some little French lass to sing in, and it's one of those. It's not like the sort of music you'd listen to every day. Once you play this game, those fucking songs will stick in your head for days on end. Yep. I'll be sitting at work just going, Clair Obscur, like, what is going on? And then the fucking like battle songs, when some of the boss battles, the tunes that come onto there, like, and it's all just sort of, all has this very orchestral symphony. It just really is fucking incredible, and it really does add to the atmos of the game. Yeah, incredible. Incredible. One of the very strong point that the audio.
Absolutely. Well, we're coming into the back end of this, the final stretch, if you will.
Yep.
Any other business to comment on or to pick out? Odds and sods, nitpicks, little call outs. What say you? Doesn't it? There's no.
I mean, I think we've gone over the. Yeah, I think we've gone over the big things, the omissions that we would have liked to see.
Yeah.
I think the story side of things is very subjective. I think it will hit for people, others it won't. I think
Here's one
that's
for you on the narrative. Is what I thought.
Yeah.
I wonder whether playing through this a second time, having all the knowledge, would be better or
worse.
Not.
Some people
because The Last of Us Part 2 is another one which I've only ever gone through once. But going through that again, I think actually would be better the second time around. I think this might be one where you're...
Sixth Sense, people say watching that with the knowledge. You see the nuances, you can see the fucking breadcrumbs lining up.
You see the threads there.
So it would be interesting. That is ain't a bad shout. It's probably one I would like to go back through. But yeah, in terms of nitpicks, I think, it's just the sort of, I wouldn't say the huge omissions. It's just something that would help along the line. Like we say, we didn't struggle to get through this game.
No.
If anything, it was quite an easy game. It's just sort of something that I think we're accustomed to ease of access now, and we're sort of almost spoiled by it, that you sort of expect it in most modern games now. So to see stuff missing, it is a bit of a normally we get that. But I can't think off the top of my head anything missing. I just feel that those omissions, certainly like in the open world and that sort of exploration of the game, could have been done so much better just by having that journal. I think it would have added to it, and it, like you say, it would have made us want to stay. Because pretty much once the credits were rolled on that game, I did a little bit, but I sort of put it down just because I couldn't be bothered to go around and do each level because I'd have to write it down on paper. Yeah. And then there's like exactly, and you don't really want to be getting into all that sort of shit. And then there's like a tower mode, is there? There's like a sort of endless tower of doing... I mean, it's there. It's good that it's there for the hardcores, but... What say you? Is there any omissions that we've not spoke about that needs discussing?
I don't think so. I think it's clear. Like, I'm really... This is more of a postscript than a nitpick, but I'm really, really... I'm really interested in their next project.
Yeah.
Because I think they iron out some of the things that I didn't like. Forget about the narrative. That is what it is. But there are just things in the game. I think the levels could be designed a bit better. They look beautiful, but they feel like levels in a way. But some would argue that's by design. And like the lack of the journal, the tracking. Like, I don't want to have to be doing that unless it's part of the game. Like, if there's nothing, I don't know. There's stuff like that. I think if you just clean those quite basic things up and come again with, even if you had the same combat idea of the parrying, the jumping, the dodging, changed the characters obviously and had different ways in which you're onto something. You've got clearly a team there that can craft something pretty good. So I guess the biggest compliment I play Sam for is that they're on the radar of like whenever they announce their next game, the interest from me will be there. I'll be like, this could be.
I think we see someone snap them up? I
hope not.
Too early.
I think it is too. I mean, they published it through Kepler, so they might be signed on to them to do another game.
Big Phil's got a fucking one up, giving them the old Game Pass additive.
Yeah, yeah. To be fair, but then Phil's got had it on Game Pass without having to buy the whole shoot. Like he can't have another agreement.
Yeah.
But no, I think I think one of the reasons why this is one of the outside. I don't mean the game narrative. I mean the narrative around the game, which I think helped it in many ways. Was the 30 starving kids that were making it, but also they were independent. I think if they were to be purchased by a Microsoft and sitting in that fucking Kings of AI under Satya Nadella, that would there'll be a mystique gone from them, and they wouldn't be treated the same. I think because they're the lost children of France that have just whimsically stumbled their way towards this game and created it under the skin on their fingernails, the dirt that were there. They just crafted it without any help.
Done it.
Nothing.
Yeah. Nothing.
That massively gave them a leg up. And I think if someone came in and bought them, like, don't know, one of those Chinese ones like NetEase or like that'll just kill like the vibe. But I think they will benefit from keeping this vibe they've got. So and then they've probably made a fucking fortune.
The sale figures must be fucking high as well.
It's the last one I saw was like over 5 million. And that's without the Game Pass bag being considered. There were 30 odd people full time. There's a lot of outsourcing if you look in the credits, hundreds. But
there'll be a Switch 2 port coming this year, I'd imagine.
Oh yeah, that as well. That'll be another boost.
Got a little thank you update. We need to go. Was that tempt you back into the world to have a little?
No, it didn't. It's one of those games that once I disconnected from it, I was
done. That's it, and washed.
And the more they started teasing, adding new stuff, I was like, I don't want to, and it was going back to that thing. I don't want to have to go back into the game and then figure out where to go or what to do and deal with that. Like if there was some sort of, there's a new zone, like a new world that you get transported to, and there's like a linear. Okay, that would be more up my street. But just adding to the initial map.
To its sake.
Yeah, it annoys me because actually there's a lot of narrative things in the side stuff, like the end game and side stuff that fleshes out a few things. But you bury it that far in the game, or even I say even me, I've Death Stranding 2 Platinum, so I will go to the nth degree,
go to the left,
clocking over 150 hours just to get everything. But this wasn't that game, unfortunately.
No.
Let's do the formalities for Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Gaming's Gallery of Games. Does Clair Obscur Expedition 33 earn its way into the gallery, or does it end up in the self-storage outside and shipped back off to France where they belong?
Fucking bath with
chuck it on those dinghies, chuck it across the channel and go have that back.
And the boats. Send them back, the bastards. No, I'm delighted to say that this does make the gaming gallery. It serves its way in.
Excellent. And the final thing really to consider is where does it go? We've got platinum wings, we've got gold rings, we've got silver wings and a bronze wing to drop it in there, so when people are wandering around they can go, ooh.
Yeah. Funny enough, I've been thinking about this today. Where do I put it? And I mean, I really did enjoy my time with it. I thought it was very good. It was a great gaming experience. I don't think it's a perfect game by any stretch, but I think like what I played of it and the resources they had made it a special.
How do we know about these resources?
Well, that is true.
I want to see the fucking ledger. Everything itemised and say, what's going on here? What's really gone into it?
I want to see what's been put in that ledger by Arthur Morgan in the cab. Now tell me we have a plan. No,
we need more money.
I enjoyed it immensely.
Well,
it doesn't get the platinum.
It ends up with a bronze. That is an unbelievable fall.
It ends up with a gold. I'll be giving it a gold.
A gold for Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Yeah. Excellent job from Sandful on the most part. And I think we both have a keen eye on whatever they do next. If they did a major story expansion, like I said, with a new zone, that I would that would get me back in. But
That
these
would
little
get back in, yeah.
drip feeded of tutters, I'm not there for that.
Nah.
My last question for you is, off the back of this turn-based JRPG inspired conquest that you've gone on, does this open up the possibilities of Adkins getting into other styles of games like this, like we've mentioned?
I'm intrigued. I mean, I do really want to go back and play Final Fantasy 13 because I never did finish it. I got I got to the second disc. That was I think it had 3 discs or something. Some fucking ridiculous, that game. But I did always want to go back and try and finish that. The trouble is, like I said in the beginning of the review, is that combat was so engaging because I had the parry system, the jump and the dodge system. I think, like I say, I don't do well with turn-based, so it would be a test, a real test of the Adkins brain to see if I could do. Persona, I didn't really give enough chance to.
They're fucking long, those games, is what that's the trouble with them.
That is the trouble. I think this boded well for me because just under 37 hours I played this for, so that's perfectly fine. I mean, you know, if you're doing a Persona, that's 4 times that.
It's probably 1 act out of 5, and then you've still got many more moons to go.
No,
so you better enjoy that combat.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sure there is things that keep you engaged in that game, but like I said from the beginning, is that combat really did keep me engaged because I am a hack and slash, I'm a parry merchant. I do like that way of gaming. That's what kept me. So yeah, it's going to take a big game. I mean, who knows? Who knows? I have played a lot of Pokemon recently.
Right, yeah.
So there's my turn-based there. But in terms, you know, it does tend to be sort of these big open RPGs, doesn't it? And there's a fucking bunch of them out these days. We've got Dragon Quest remakes. We've got fucking... God knows. Fable coming out, fucking, we're getting details next week. Where if they churn that out and go, it's turn-based now.
Oh, I don't know how people respond to that.
No.
I don't think they'd be too happy.
No, but yeah, I can't. I mean, I'm willing to give something a try. I mean, this year I haven't really started anything fucking this year so far. I've played a little bit of Red Dead, and I've been fucking about with this too. Yeah, I put six hours into it on PC. So I'm sort
just
of
got out of the snow, did you?
Yeah, just got out of the snow, literally. And yeah, just been fucking about with my new Metro Man Cave. Retro Man Cave.
There'll be an upcoming chat about that once.
Yes, yeah, we're going to get that in the books. But other than that, this backlog needs clearing down. I have binned a lot of it on there, like stuff that I know I'm never going to get back to and stuff. So it's only a plethora of games I need to wipe.
Have you marked it as binned though, or is mentally you've checked away from it? Is there a list?
I've got a little folder of games, and then there's ones like. Let's see if I can find one that was on there. Like, let's have a look. What was on there? So like Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. I mean,
oh right, yeah.
It's things like that, like where I can't see me going back to a game like that now. Like, especially when there's a new title in there. I think I've just got to write that off and go, that sort of game is done. I didn't know. Even I've done a bit of a biff here. It's the sort of game I would normally, but I started Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2.
That's a short game though, isn't it?
It's like 10 hours, but I played it for about 3 hours, and I thought to myself, why am I not just powering through? And I think I'm not enjoying it. I don't know. There's something, and I sort of dragged myself through these games just to get them done.
Yeah.
But like that, the sort of Biff mentality started to kick in, and I think
Sir Bin-a-Lot, his son has been born, a new spawn of it.
Exactly. There's games here that, you know, like there's like the one that was on there was Mass Effect Andromeda. Well, I might be able to look on the properties here. There you go. 28th of May 2018.
Fuck me.
So that's 8 years ago. I'm not picking that back up. I don't even know.
It weren't even that good.
Exactly. I'm not picking that back up now and going.
Panned. Absolutely panned that one.
Let's just leave that off. So I thought, right, if I'm out and if I'm going to commit and go through it, I've got to start that again. But for now, that's been wiped clean. I can't lie to myself and say, no, I'm going to go back into that after night or whatever it is, fucking 8 years, and go, oh yeah, I remember what's happened. So I've just had to be true to myself. It's not too many, and it's not sort of, big game. There's big games on here that I've told myself I have to get done.
Right.
Like the likes of fucking Baldur's Gate 3. I'll admit that's going to be a big game. I will eventually have to get back to that and push my way through it. I can't just write that off, even though that is not my style of game.
That'll be 3 years since you've played that, if you're not careful.
Bloodborne, that's got to be over 10 years.
That remake's coming soon, surely.
Oh, exactly.
Hold on for that remaster.
That and Demon Souls, I just can't pull myself to write those off. But
Demon Souls are a rotter, I think. I think that's a rotter.
That's it. But then there's stuff on here. There's stuff that I've, just started and played a bit, like Just Cause 4, the original Helldivers. Stuff like that. I mean, stuff like that.
It didn't have an end, is it? The original Helldivers.
No, exactly. So it's just little tutters and stuff, but ones that, like you say, which is weird that Warhammer 2.
Go on, carry on. I've got a fault here because
I was going to say, it's walked at that Warhammer. There's a botchling bin.
Well, if you want to officially put them in the botchling bin. This puts them in there in the abyss. Right. That's where you've binned it, done a biff and binned it. So if you've got a list of things you 100% want to do, and then you've made a blood commitment here live on the podcast, you can't go back to it. Well, you can always go back to it, but
yeah, it needs to be restarted. Like, do I have to do the list now, or is this another thing?
We can do a separate session one day once you've.
We'll do a separate session.
Now you know what the stakes are. Maybe next month.
I tell you, there's one at Golf Story on the Switch.
Oh.
I'm about 12 hours into that. I've probably got another 12 to go.
Funnily enough, when I looked on the Switch or the Nintendo year in review, I found that you could go back to 20.
Oh, that's a brilliant feature.
Yeah, go back all the way to 2017. I think 2018, my most played game was Golf Story. Clocking in at a clean 22 hours, so you've got another 10 to go.
That is bloody. See, like that, the thought of that, and then there's I've started so many hard games like Shovel Knight. That was fucking rock solid. Cuphead, I've literally got stuck. I can't progress any further. I'm not good enough. I need to play it. Hades is another one. I really enjoy it, but I can't seem to get over the hump. I need to really commit and play it. So yeah, it's just I just need to knuckle down, and at the minute I'm in a bit of a rut at the minute, to be honest. Like I say, I've not really played anything. I need to get in the zone. So 26 has started off a slow year for me in the gaming. I'm just buying shit at the minute and not fucking playing anything.
Yeah,
so I need
it's easily done.
What's your 2026 start?
Just cracking on. Let's carry on with my old tactic. One at a time. Yeah, got a big old bloater on the burner at the moment, which I'll reveal when it's done. Yeah, it has been mentioned though, so people probably can put the crumbs together like 6 cents they want to.
Original Helldivers.
Yes, correct. Yeah, and then really because the next game I would probably because you never know, but is on the docket for day one will be Resident Evil Requiem, which is back end of Feb.
Quite good. I was going to say it's quite a good beginning of the year because there isn't any heavy hitters other than that.
No,
you've got 007's now delayed, isn't it, until March now? There's nothing really huge coming out in Q1.
Although actually,
really.
Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade coming to Xbox and Switch too. That might light a fire under your ass for what's the second one called? Final Fantasy VII, Rebirth.
Rebirth, yeah. Again, that's another one I've been meaning to get back. I think that's that, and
that's got a fucking soundtrack and a half.
Yeah, I'll bet that is. Again, it's these games that it's not that I'm that disinterested in them. I just stop and move on to something.
Animal Crossing 2.0 update, another 80 hours on turnips.
Come out today, didn't it? Come out today. Switch 2 port. Is it Switch 2 port today, or is that a bit later?
I can't remember what it is now when they're doing it. No. Yeah, there's too much.
There is too much. But yeah, I've got a little rough outline of the ones I want to get done and get finished. The ones that I can see I will get finished.
Yeah.
Like the likes of like Star Wars Outlaws. I think I'm halfway through that. So if I really stick a few nights into it, I can get that done and brushed out the way. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 PS5 games here in their cellophane wrapper. And they're heavy hitters as well. I've got Alan Wake 2, Stellar Blade, Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, Resident Evil 4 remake. All games that have not been played. There's so many heavy hitters here that just ain't...
I'm going to give you some time to reflect on this, and then we'll come back and you'll be doing a botchling bin session where we're going to eviscerate things permanently and see if you can do it. But
exactly. I need commitment this year.
I feel like I've heard this every year.
I know, it's the trouble.
It's easily done.
Happens every time. I'm like, right, I'm going to do it. I go, I've fallen into the trap again, for fuck's sake. I'm not buying any more new games. I've bought 3, for fuck's sake. Oh, dear.
Well, that's Clair Obscur Expedition 33.
And one thing I will say, played the fucking game for 40 hours. You played it for 50 plus hours. What the fuck is Clair Obscur?
I don't know.
There was an enemy.
I saw one enemy, but that was like nowhere near the end. Like it was.
Nah.
I thought it would be like the final boss or something, but it wasn't.
I assume, you know, like you get like stories and then it's like the person's name and then the story after it. I assumed Clair Obscur was like some French woman that wrote the story.
It means light dark.
Oh, okay. Because I wonder if they're going to have this as a franchise, and so the next game will be Clair Obscur something.
Better not be another expedition.
It's a bit like a sort of Elder Scrolls, that sort of thing. Then you get the different game. Maybe it's a bit like that. Who knows? But yeah, alas.
No, I don't really. Yeah, light dark is all I could garner from it from a bit of research. And there he is. What's its name? This is for the video.
I don't know what his name
mascot.
Is. It's my mascot.
It's Gary the Goalball.
It's Gary the Goalball. He's the new boy now.
He's the new mascot. Cool. Right, a gold for Expedition 33. Tell
you what we'll be reviewing next. No Mercy and
oh well, yeah, I'm looking forward to
this 2000.
This retro fucking bundle that you've gone on and hearing about going back to all those. That's certainly of interest, so we'll get something booked in for that as well, and a botchling bin session with any luck. A tour of the new retro cave once he's 100% happy with it. But for now, we'll bid you adieu and see you on the other side.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Here we are then, back with some more game impressions. This time, Pac-Man Adcock joins us to talk about The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. So this is the new... What was this? 2024, wasn't it? I think September of late last year this came out. We were all waiting for the Switch 2 at that point. No one really was interested, but look, get the Switch 2 out, then we'll start playing these games again. And to be fair to you, you've cracked on and done it. The Switch 2's out. Played probably one second of Mario Kart World, if you even got that, and then dived into a last-gen game. So a good use of that new hardware.
Taking it, really. been a minute, yeah. And I'm playing Silk Song now. I could have played that on the Switch one as well.
Is that on the Switch 2 as well? You're playing that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you handheld or docked or both at the moment? What's your sort of split for the Switch 2? Because I've just been docked all the time.
So both, but I'd say 75% handheld, actually.
I still can't get comfortable with these handhelds. Little neck crane. This is the other thing I was going to say, because you read a lot of books back in the day, but it's the same thing with that. When I would read, it would give me a pain in the neck.
Okay.
Is there any solution to this for either handheld gaming or books, other than just... And like, when you're on a train specifically, where you're already cramped in, you're uncomfortable, arms are sort of stretched. I just think... I tried reading a book on the training once, and it was like hell. And it was Jaws.
I think you remember when I used to be on the train, I'd fall asleep within 3 pages.
I know, you drop all your book on the floor.
I feel like most of my reading's probably then done lying on my back, book above my head, like protecting the neck, don't be looking down. Same with, the Switch, lie down and play.
Is that how you normally would do it then? You'll be on the sofa and just lie down, but sort of up?
Yeah, I think I'd just move around, you get comfortable. Just move, yeah.
Fair enough. Well, look, Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, for those that are new or haven't listened or skip over everything and then, maybe they see you and think, I'm not listening to him, but a little bit of history with Zelda. I mean, this could drone on forever, actually, so perhaps sort of
I'll be very quick.
Have you played nearly all the games? That was my main question, like all of them pretty much, I would say.
I think I've definitely dabbled in all the mainline games, probably completed 85% of them. The ones I can think of I didn't were the stylist ones that came out on the 3DS. I played them but didn't beat them. And then maybe like Zelda 2 on NES hasn't been beaten. So yeah, pretty much played them all. Probably my favourite game series overall.
Even with the new approach to like Breath of the Wild, because I remember, was it Link? What was the 3DS one that you loved, where it was like non-linear dungeon progression?
Yeah, Link Between Worlds.
Link Between Worlds, because that was very old school but new. It was like, you can do these in whatever order you want, and then we got Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, where it's like, no, it is you can explore and find little seeds or whatever.
I wouldn't say I'm like anti them. It needed a bit of a refresh, but I think I've said to you many times, some sort of hybrid approach, or maybe I just lean towards the more linear experiences, but they needed to do something new, really.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And actually, if you think about how OG Zelda was set up, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are kind of like that, but with all the modern trappings. Yeah. Like, it's just go and do what you need to do, and you'll find stuff, you'll miss stuff. But it's obviously on a scale that was far larger than what the NES could do. So maybe it's just a full circle moment. But this is interesting though, Echoes of Wisdom, because this is like, is it like top down or a slight angle? It's like isometric.
Yeah, probably.
It looked like a remake of that one where he's having a kip or whatever. I can't remember what it's called now.
That's literally what I was going to say. Yeah, Link's Kip. Yeah, Link's Awakening. Yeah.
It's the same sort of viewpoint and style almost, it looked like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is.
Okay. So I thought, I like the look of that. But there was reports that ran like garbage on the Switch 1. And I guess to get that out of the way with Echoes of Wisdom, performance-wise, I imagine the Switch 2 was perfectly fine. Serviceable, good, no real problems.
No, absolutely fine, ran great. I'm surprised it ran poorly on the Switch 1, but I guess you can have instances where there's a lot going on the screen at once, but I don't know, I'm surprised, but I guess that was creaky in that hardware.
Yeah, so there is a benefit to playing it on the Switch 2 if you've got it and haven't played it before. So correct me if I'm wrong, but you play as Zelda in this one, which I'm not overly familiar with every game, but first time?
It's the big news. It's finally happened. Because it kind of got teased in Breath of the Wild, I think. People, you didn't know you were Link in the trailer that dropped.
Right.
People were speculating it was Zelda.
The nonsense that was kind of, I was like, what are you talking about? It's clearly Link with just long hair,
and I
was like, Link looks like a little bit of a girl anyway, like he always has.
Exactly. 10 years later, they put you in her shoes finally.
Like one of the most powerful video game characters ever, really. Like when she's got her magic on firing all cylinders, she's pretty badass from what I understand in the lore.
But they've also made her look exactly like Link. After like 5 minutes, you really forget you're actually playing Zelda.
Okay, interesting. So how does this game work? Because obviously it's not Breath of the Wild, it's not Tears of the Kingdom, it's not this new style. Is this a kind of return to the old style with dungeons? Does it even have dungeons? I guess is a question to ask, because that's not even a given these days with how they've been meddling with it.
It's good. It's kind of like a mashup it's definitely more in the traditional vein. So you've got dungeons, and they're traditional dungeons.
Yeah.
It's semi-open world in that they'll kind of like you get 2 or 3 dungeons appear on your map, and how you tackle them, you can do it how you want, and the open world is open as well. Then after completing those 3, you'll get like another 3, for example.
Right.
And then again, you can tackle them in any order. So
they're like tiered almost. It'll unlock a selection for you to go.
Exactly. And a bit like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, you can I could tell with what one set, I'd definitely gone to probably the one that was meant to be last first. I was struggling a lot. But you can tackle him in any order. I got through it. So there's that element to it, which is good. So it's open world, but then you're kind of hemmed into completely, in terms of moving the game on, you're kind of stuck to an order. You're not going to come across Ganon, randomly fight him and win and complete the game in 30 minutes. That ain't happening. So there's that part. Then they've modernized it. You've got side quests, which I think is a first for any top-down Zelda. I don't think they've ever had that. So it's even got the same kind of like text comes up and sound effects. Everything is taken straight from like Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild. Like the how it looks when you activate a side quest. So there's that, which I thought was quite nice. And then obviously the key thing really is, I guess, the key mechanic. They generally always have 1 or 2 unique features in a Zelda game, whether it's like 2 worlds or
breakable weapons.
Yeah, an ability that
stamina that runs out when you climb up a hill.
These are just all the criticisms.
Oh no, they're features, aren't they? Not bugs. Features baked in.
But yeah, so this one obviously, I guess the 2 are your Zelda. You're not playing as Link for the first time, and then they've chosen not to give Zelda any sort of fighting ability. She can just pretty much copy everything in the world and then use that to fight and to solve puzzles.
So hang on a minute. How do you have to unlock the ability to copy said, I don't know, object in the world? Is there some? Sure, you don't just see it on screen and then she's like, right, I can make that. Is there some sort of prerequisite to unlocking it as an option, like a bed or whatever? I don't know what you might.
Exactly. So I think anything you can interact with in the world, like a bed, a table, a pot, a rock, can all be copied. And then with the enemies, you have to beat the enemy, and then you can copy them.
Sort of steal its power
you get the ability right from the off, basically. As soon as the game kind of starts, that's what you're given. You can. So like Link is running around this world. He's doing his own thing, right? But he's in trouble. But
he's always in trouble.
Well, yeah, but he's normally solving the problems as well, isn't he?
I don't know if he is. I think he's getting in the way. I think he's slowing things down half the time.
He's lurking, and you find his weapons basically, and you can bait it. So you can
Master Sword, Hero Shield.
Well,
or is it
just
not?
says just his little bog standard sword. I mean, it must be the Master Sword. It must be. It doesn't say that though.
Well, that has to recharge now, according to newer games. That's enough.
Well, that's the whole. So you can basically turn into Link briefly, but there's like a power meter. You might get 10 seconds, so you can actually swing your sword, fire an arrow, throw a bomb. But
so in lore, in game, contextually, your Zelda is turning into like a copy of Link, or is she pulling Link in who's alongside her to fight, or do we not really know what's
more
going
the
on.
A side of that. Basically, by finding his weapon, she turns into like the hero of Hyrule for like 10 seconds, like drawing his power or whatever. I think is the explanation.
Is it super powerful or not really? Like in comparison,
it's handy. Again, it doesn't seem out of place or anything. You might just use it to kind of, if you've got a screen full of enemies, you might just be like, right, rather than mess around with those echoes, I'm just going to batter them all.
Yeah.
Clear this down a bit. Or with a boss, like the classic where you might have to like hit their legs and then they'll fall flat. That's
right.
you then turn into him and go up to it and smack it in the head a few times. So it's good, but you can obviously only use it sparingly, but it works pretty well. But yeah, that's it.
Okay. So going back to this copy mechanic of copying objects, how obviously I imagine the dungeons and there's puzzles and things that where using items or objects that you've copied is going to be baked into that kind of getting past or solving the puzzle. How does that all come together in terms of playing? How do you activate them? How do you even keep track of all the objects? Because surely at some point you could, in theory, have like dozens of this of stuff to go through. Is it as the game goes on, does it get tricky to manage this?
A good question, to be fair. So it works really well it's that classic Nintendo, there's probably 6 or 7 different ways to kind of solve most puzzles or tackle most enemies. Yeah. No right or wrong, just kind of, experiment, and you're kind of going to find a way through, and you're kind of like, is that the way you're meant to do it? And who cares? It works. So like the best of Breath of the Wild, the best of Tears of the Kingdom in that respect. Like you can, you'd be scratching your head and you'll just read the descriptions of the echoes and you'll figure it out what you they can and can't do. And then you often have to use 2 or 3 together as it kind of increases in difficulty. It's really, really clever and absolutely the highlight of the game, especially the puzzle side more than the enemies, because at the end of the day, spawning like an enemy to fight for you just isn't as fun as fighting yourself.
Hey, Necromancer, that's I love games like that where I don't have to do anything.
Well, I see. So you're loving it. Just sit back, relax, let them do your heavy work, run out of the way. The downside of it is exactly what you said, is like the item management, because you end up with a lot of shit. And as far as I don't think there's a way of dropping the echo. Once you've got it. And it is just literally in like a huge, like, horizontal row in like on your left trigger. Now they do let you sort of quick grab them, and you'll have like options like last used or most power, because you've got this little helper like you always do. He kind of powers up. He's the one who can kind of technically cast the echoes with this stick.
Okay.
Well, you've got a stick, but his power dictates how many kind of points each like summon takes. So things like a little bat or whatever will only ever be like 1 like point. So you can have, if you've got 6 points to spare, you can have 6 bats. But then like a huge like ironclad enemy with a big ball and chain might be 5. So you can have 1 of them and 1 bat. So you're kind of having to like manage things like that with your. The puzzles get really clever. Actually, I forgot where I was going with this, but sometimes you'll have to almost set things up with like different level enemies. Spawn the last one so everything drops at the same time. If you don't mean, you're balancing like chairs on ice cubes to then put out fires all simultaneously. It's very clever. But sorry, it was the management of the items. Yeah, it sometimes, though it never put me off the game. Sometimes I was like, there must be a better way of doing this, because you do spend an awful lot of your time in menus. Yeah. Scrolling, looking for a little spider that can cast a web so you can climb up a rock face. Like, it is a bit, I don't know. I don't think there probably isn't a better way, because I imagine they thought about it for a long time. But you're like, I don't know. I liked it. I'm like, I can imagine some people it driving them mad.
Yeah. I wonder if there's like a way they could have designed the game so that when you get to like these tiers of dungeons, for example, that they're like, right, you're going to need the spider web maybe a few times in this location, this area. Once you progress past this, there'll be new, or during that area, you'll find new objects, and the spider will go naturally towards the back of your line, and you probably won't need it again if you stay linear. Like, do you know what I mean? Design the game around what you can find. And
actually,
the newer stuff is always at the front because you've recently found it.
I put a better reviewer to check this out, but I noticed something that I never investigated. It's the first Zelda with a difficulty setting. Now I'm really curious what that slider does. Does it, if you put it on easy, does it do something like that? Because, like to say, like hearing a suggested echoes for this location, based on what you've got. Because obviously, depending on where you've gone before.
Yeah,
it could be a lot easier or harder where you are. There's always a way through, I think, but you're going to struggle a lot less if you've been somewhere else on the map and found certain echoes. So, that's the downside of the game. It's just compared to most Zeldas where you can kind of allocate most things to a button. At least, as you say, you know where you are. You know what your most uses are going to be. There's normally enough buttons to kind of get you through.
Yeah.
This, you're going to find yourself in those menus often.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because the freedom of it is insane. But with that freedom comes the level of management that some people might get annoyed about. But that's usually people that are overthinking it. Like, I'm sure most of the stuff you can quite easily be like, right, I need that. I can just grab it quickly. Like, it's not...
Yeah.
You're not flapping around unless you don't know how to progress.
And he's done it in a relatively smart way, because I usually always had it set up on the recently used, and you'd find you would be using those objects often. I guess you probably, that's just part of the decent design that I didn't really ever have to think more than that, and it was just me having not read the description sometimes, like getting stuck on a puzzle and being like, what does this thing do? Like, what exactly have I got? But yeah.
Can you hotkey them, or can you select favourites and create a weird a sub selection of them like that, rather than it just defaulting to recently used? Could you mark 5 of them and they always appear if you set it to a certain view? I mean, that feels like another way of where you can just be like, right, I'm always going to use this in combat, this whatever it is. I've noticed that there's walls at spider web, and you could just sort of change them afterwards and have 5 or so that are easy to get to. But
it could have been there, Joe, but once I figured what I liked, I just stuck with it and
that's the way to do it. I don't particularly like going outside the comfort zone. If it's working, then just crack on. You mentioned there's side quests and things to do. Is there a reward for doing that? I assume you can like, level up the amount of power that you can eventually use to cast the echoes, etc. Is that something that you can boost during these side quests, or are they just purely to help people and out the kindness of your heart you think, oh, that was worth doing? Or you doing it for some value?
I think I did 3. I don't know how many there are, and I was rewarded for them all, but it was like extra heart piece. It's extending that meter that Link can be active for, right? Or his power can be active for, or like your little fella powering him up. So you then got essentially more echoes to cast. So I think you're always rewarded for them.
Yeah. Is there many of them that you encounter? I mean, you said you did 3 of them. Was there loads per area, or maybe a handful, or?
Yeah, it seems to be like a handful per town, city and stuff, and all the normal outliers lurking in the world, wanting random bits. I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't say any of them were particularly interesting, but maybe this leads into another point in that I just, what Zelda is it? I think it's Majora's Mask. Obviously, it's a very old game, but people rave about the side quests in that. Well, they're not really side quests, but I guess they're like optional things, because you're kind of working in like a 3-day cycle, so you can kind of solve all these problems. People say they're brilliant. I mean, I think they were brilliant. I think compared to games now, they're probably quite poor. And I feel mean saying this, but the story in these Zelda games now, what once was groundbreaking in Ocarina, when there wasn't really stories, this effectively telling the same story 25 or 30 years later.
Right.
And I'm just like, man, come on. Like, but I guess like I don't. I was thinking about this as I was playing it. It's like, is this me getting old? And this is always going to be like, is it designed to be like a kid's first RPG?
Yeah, or adventure game. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or adventure, like my first adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is quite, it's really challenging in points. It's not like easy, but I used to beat hard games. I think I was smarter as a kid than I am now.
Got more patience, probably.
Yeah, definitely, and more time to but so I was it's a really weird sort of conundrum, because I was like, I do like it, and it's like really familiar, and it's the Zelda I kind of like, but also I was like, where does this sit? Because it ain't like obtuse and like, what you were saying about Elden Ring, like your story's told through all your item description and like world building through
just
vague MP
lies by the YouTubers, and
it's not
posts.
like a spoon-fed Sony first party thing. It sort of sits. It's not even in the middle. It's just kind of a babied. Do you know what I mean? Like it's the same sort of like problems you're solving. The towns are all the same. Like,
is it in Hyrule?
It's in Hyrule, yeah.
Okay, so that's even back there. That's a horrible place by the sound of things. The amount of things that have happened on various timelines. It's a scourge.
Just smooth.
It just needs to be levelled, I think, and be done with. Someone needs to come in there and say, look, you've all got 30 days to move, and then we're going to level this place, and no one's going to be on it. So that's the end of it. You can't look after it.
Honestly, go over those mountains. It's pretty something beautiful over there. But it was just a bit disappointing, I guess. I had no expectations going in, but I was just like, this is like the first Zelda that wasn't Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, probably since that Link Between Worlds, which might have been 15 years ago. I don't know. Right. And I was like, I was just like, it's the same. Like, you haven't done anything different here.
No. Is there like characters or like memorable?
No, that's what I mean. You're just helping, like, real basic. You go to a town and something's gone wrong, and you talk to a few people. That nothing's that. The king's. I don't know how to explain it. Just like they've got to really mind the problem. They then get blown away by you clearing up one of these little rifts that's opened, and then it all just turns good, and it's just rinse and repeat. And I don't know. It's
I know what you mean though. It's one of those. I mean, maybe it's just not the right franchise for having a lot of Nintendo. I mean, we've said this before. A lot of Nintendo stuff doesn't really have much. Like I played Donkey Kong, and I was like, we're just sort of collecting bananas, and like, I was playing that alongside Death Stranding, where the world's at a perpetual end of cycle and extinction, and then I'd like put Donkey Kong on afterwards and think, there's not a lot going on here. Like just collecting bananas feels I've got other things to be getting on with. Got to stop the world from melting properly, not just chasing down Void Kong or whatever his name was. But I think that generally with Nintendo stuff, like it's just how it is. It's just always going to be that way, and it works.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really need to be doing this. I just feel like Metroid and Zelda are the two franchises they've got that are probably ripe for a bit of storytelling. Get there.
Yeah, I think Metroid generally is of a higher level. Like, it's more interesting to me usually at base level. But I know what you're saying. It's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
anyway,
I think you were right at the very beginning though when you were talking about first adventure game. You don't want Last of Us Part 2 complex video game storytelling to be involved with that, because a lot of people just want to get on with the puzzles and the combat, and this sounds like it could be a bit of a sandbox as well when you're fiddling around with all the different combinations. Like if you really want to dive into it, you can get creative with it. So
I guess it's the same complaint of like Star Wars fans and stuff, where they want it to kind of age with them and be more dark and whatever.
Yes.
Because I guess in reality, you're right. Like Zelda's always been Zelda. I've just got older and now compare it to other games I like the Souls games and whatnot. But do I need it to be that? No, because that exists separately. And this exists together. It just seemed like in a game that's so clever to have such kind of a basic story framework, tying it all together, and so similar to what's gone before. It's just like, I don't know. Yeah, it's just like
you can do that, but then have like interesting writing just amongst the characters, like some levity or jokes, or do you know what I mean? Like I've seen games that have very basic stories, but the characters in it are funny or memorable in some way, and that's kind of all you need. It's a bit of like humour, or you sort of think, oh, I like that guy, or I don't like them, and that's all you need. Even if you are just doing a very standard sort of world-saving adventure.
And to be honest, they are charming in their own Nintendo way, but I mean, it's just when you've seen them 19 different games, it's like, or a variant of them. Yeah. It's just like kind of like skip. Where am I going next? Come on, just get me through this.
And you have people going mental. They'll be saying, look, this is part of the fallen hero timeline, and that means that, and it's do away with that. In fact, there's a law, I think I may have said this several times, and no one believes me, but I found it. There's a book somewhere about Breath of the Wild, like a Nintendo book. There's a passage in there talking about when it's set. And essentially they write in there that it's set at the end of every timeline, but there's no specific one. Basically, we treat the previous games as legends that were, and you can find remnants in Hyrule, like if you look, like there's paintings and murals, and it's suggesting what happened, but whether they all happened or exactly how the games said, they said you don't need to worry about that. You can just start at Breath of the Wild. So they should have just never done that timeline to start with. It should have just been like Final Fantasy.
There was no time. There's someone just, I don't know why.
It was for years, and then they went, let's do this.
Need to be tying it all together.
Yeah. That's like early levels of like MCU bollocks. Like that should have been a warning sign for that sort of stuff. Yeah. I put Venom on, not the new one, or the newest one, the other day. I've actually got to post in that group. And even that, there's like, I forgot that there's like multiverse parts to that. And I was like, oh, for God's sake. Why? How is this still happening? That's my head in.
Got praying now.
No. How long do you think you spent to get through Echoes of Wisdom on a sort of finger in the air guess? Are we talking dozen hours, couple of dozen, 15?
I'm going to say south of 20, maybe like 17, 18, I'd say.
Did it drag or feel, I mean...
No, it was nice. It was really like easy for me to pick up and put down. Like I never, even though I left it sometimes for maybe like a week, I could always just jump back. Yeah, it didn't have like that effect some games have where you're like, okay, how do I do what I do? Because it's all just the echoes.
Yeah.
It was very easy to jump back into, actually. I really appreciated it for that. And it never felt, the world's big, like a 2D game, but still really manageable. So if you are looking for something in that sort of, not something huge, but a middling sort of sized game, it's really fits the niche well.
Is it something that you can play in short bursts potentially, or is it's not? Because some games, like you sit down and think, I have to be here an hour really to make this worthwhile. Could you pick this up for like 15, 20 minutes and make some progress, get to a save point and be like, right, we're back later or tomorrow?
It's really good for that. In the way, so you got the world's open, like I said, so you can always have a wander around. You'll find something of interest, a little game or a little puzzle to do, a little town to explore. Then where you're always trying to clear these like rifts that are appearing, like so you got the world. Then there is sort of it's like another world being opening up over them, and everyone's falling into them. Like parts of the town are falling in. So you'll always kind of go somewhere. The town will never believe that you can help them, so you have to kind of clear up with a little rift.
To show them, look.
Yeah, show them.
You've got nothing to lose anyway, and yet you're giving me a hard time. But just for your own sake, I'll show you, and then you can bow down to me.
But basically, what I found was like I would either have a little wander around, half an hour. I would either head to the next location and get to like that, talk to everyone and open up the little rift.
Yeah.
Then you can work the little rift. Takes about an hour. You can then do whatever is needed to get into the big rift, which essentially becomes the dungeon, but there's a little bit before it. So it's basically, even though it's all open, it's all kind of fragmented and segmented, but it breaks down brilliantly. And once you're in the dungeon, as long as you you're always making progress in there. If you decide to stop, you can stop, or there's a couple of like waypoints in them normally where they're a bit bigger. But again, they were always manageable. Like you could probably clear most of them in 2 or 3 hours. So never felt like they were dragging. It was size-wise perfect. Definitely did not drag.
Nice. Did you need a guide or anything for any of the puzzles or the dungeons, or did it quite didn't get stuck
there's a
or
couple of things.
frustrated?
I think I maybe looked at a guide twice for actual help. Sometimes I was like, I wonder what the other ways to do this is once I'd done it.
Yeah.
And I was still on the right track. It was just I wasn't kind of doing, the kind of thing I mean, where you kind of know what needs to be done.
It.
Yeah.
And you're doing like 10 steps instead of 3 steps.
Yeah, I think the one thing I actually did forget when I dropped it was that you can kind of spawn your echoes, like rather than just in front of you, there's a button to kind of make them spawn elsewhere in the room, and I just completely forgot that was an option, so I was just stuck. So yeah, I did forget one thing there, but no, it was very manageable without a guide, even for my slowing brain.
I don't think I've got any other specific questions. Is there any other business that you want to touch upon?
No, not really.
Troy Baker, voice actor, yeah.
It's just nice to have another Zelda to play, I think. It's always nice. And I do like...
Did it feel like a Zelda game, even though you're playing as Zelda, not Link? I mean, I remember you saying it basically, it was, for all intents and purposes, you were Link, but...
Yeah, the sprite looks very similar, and they let you know you're Zelda all the time, and obviously she's technically got a very different skill set, but they change what Link can do all the time as well anyway, so... Yeah, it didn't really make any fundamental things. I'd have absolutely no problem with them doing another game with Zelda, though. It was great. Like, really interesting mechanic. They always are, to be fair. I think they're really clever at doing that, to be fair, and always making it work. And surprisingly, very rarely revisiting whatever the mechanic is. But
maybe that's where they say, look, forget your story. We're out here working on crafting the game design. So you even have that.
You can't knock them for, because they're the masters of that sort of thing. Yeah. So, I mean, I would definitely rather that. There's other good stories in the world.
Did you play Link's Awakening, the remake, or...
No.
If you didn't, okay.
No. To be honest, it's one I've played, several times, and...
before the remake? I
just don't feel like it. It's a screen-for-screen remake, as far as I can tell.
Yeah,
just with... Yeah, with prettier graphics. So no, I've got this is the thing, isn't it? If Nintendo ever released it for sub £10, I probably would, but it's probably never going to happen.
No, unless you find it unvinted by some widow that didn't know that they had a expensive game. Was like, well, I need to settle this crap from him at bargain bin prices. Right, let's do the formalities then for Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. We've got the gaming gallery. People that don't know, it can go in the gaming gallery and earn itself a platinum, gold, silver, or bronze. Or if it's not up to snuff, it goes into the self-storage, which sits outside in the car park. So that's a bit of a blemish. You don't want that if you can help it. F123, Ninja Gaiden 3, Razor's Edge sitting in there from Adkins. Adkins has put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in there this year, and he never used to use it. One of them's Metroid Prime Remastered, so one of the all-time classics. Doesn't like that backtracking. So that could be an option for Echoes of Wisdom if it wasn't up to snuff. So the first question is, does it make it into the gallery, or are we just unlocking this self-storage outside and chucking it in there and forgetting about it?
No, forget about the self-storage. She's going in.
Okay, that's fair enough. Be sexist otherwise, wouldn't it? Saying, oh, not playing as Link, so straight in self-storage. See the headlines already. So we've got platinum, gold, silver, or bronze that you can award it. This is forever attached to your name as well, so be careful. Where does The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom rank for you?
Normally pretty concise with this, but I'm kind of torn between a silver and a gold.
I feel like it was going towards silver when you was talking about story, and then we pulled it back by talking about clever design.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm going to be kind. I'm going to give it the gold.
You wonder why Nintendo never grow. It's because people keep letting off the hook like this.
Well, look, it's got a back.
Just slagged it off.
A sloppy story and maybe a slightly bad menu system, but other than that, everything is golden. So let's go gold.
And it's not. I don't know if there's many games that even play like this as an idea. Like, I'm sure they're out there, but really, like just like copying and duplicating objects. Like, that's even outside of the Zelda realm.
Yeah,
that's still pretty unique.
Yeah,
So,
it's very, like I said, when the puzzles work, and they generally all do, is very clever. It's got very good at making you feel very smart. You know, when you're not, you're just
looking at guides
around,
but
flapping around, seeing what does what.
Yeah,
but,
chucking beds out there, trying to make a bridge or whatever you need to do. Lovely, that's good. Yeah, I this is on a list somewhere. I don't know when I'll get to it, but it seems like an interesting take on it. Nonetheless,
yeah, you'll have a lot of fun with it. It's good.
Yeah, I still haven't played Tears of the Kingdom though, so that really needs. And now they've got the Switch 2 sort of super duper version of it. That will be penciled in at some point once things come.
It's much more of an undertaking, though. That is, isn't it? It's 80 odd hours.
I think I spent Breath of the Wild over 2 playthroughs 150. Yeah. One was like a pretty breezy one, like under 50. The second one was much more thorough. I got all those memories.
Oh God!
No guy. Like, I was going for it. I was like, let's play this game properly, and still was like, that's all right. That wasn't really, it didn't really change my opinion of it. But we'll see about Tears of the Kingdom. Nonetheless, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom gets itself a gold from Pac-Man Adcock. So another lovely gold. In fact, that's your first gold of the year.
It might. How many games have I done this year?
Well,
I've done more than 2.
Silent Hill 2. Might even be just those 2, you know. Oh no, Somerville.
Oh yeah, 3 games. Yeah, I'll say that.
Yeah. Yeah. More to come, people are saying, but we'll see. But no, thanks for that. That's another Zelda one ticked off. I'm surprised more people didn't play it, but
I think it's, well, like you said, came out right at the end of the life. I mean, I literally had just sold my Switch, thinking there's after Tears of the Kingdom, thinking that's it. There's going to be no more big games.
We'll
and
get
then
the Switch 2 later this year, and then we had to wait until what? June? Yeah. Yeah. Oh well. It's here now, and it plays these games better, but Switch 2 romping on. Anyway, as usual, we've got more probably coming in this episode, unless this fits at the end. But we'll see you on the other side.
Hello, it's Apps and Logan, or Logan and Apps. I never know which. It feels weird saying Logan and Apps because it makes me feel like I always feel like she go in alphabetical order. That's
the simple way of resolving that. But also, I find it weird. This is something I have to grapple with, using just nicknames to, like, when I call myself that.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? That doesn't.
I mean, Logan. Apps isn't actually your name, obviously, and Logan is clearly not my name, right? Although some people that listen might not know this. Like, my name is not first name, middle name, or surname Logan. It's just what do you call it? A reduction, I would say, of other names.
As IQ decreased and we got older, that's the effort being put in also decreased. Basically.
So. But I know what you mean, because it's also not so, you wouldn't jump on a work call and they go, introduce yourself, you go, Maps.
Yeah. But I remember it was Pee-wee who we're talking years back, said, why are you using your normal names? And I was like, because it's weird to not. And then eventually I just stopped doing it, and it became using the sort of nicknames that we'll use.
Oh, what, on the podcast?
Yeah.
Did it start? I think we did start. It didn't feel, I would say, as natural, because we don't refer to each other by, I mean, to be fair, sometimes I do call James just to annoy him, but he's generally not James. And then, I mean, the weirdest one for me actually is Josh. Like, I don't think I've ever, in sincerity, called him Josh. Even from when we played football, when we were like 14 or whatever we were. Like, the idea of, he's never been Josh to me. But
he shouldn't be.
I know what you mean. It is a bit weird giving yourself those nicknames.
But Pee-wee was right, ultimately, because that's where we've ended up. So
it was correct. Feedback, constructive feedback is never welcome.
But for years I resisted. And I was like, fuck it.
Well, because to be fair, it does only really mean something to us, but then everyone just becomes to.
Well, there's people nowadays using like fucking Shroud. Like that's not the like.
Yeah.
It's more common because of these what was username, screen names, whatever. They're actually used in.
Yeah.
I've seen
Like
people on like
esports
fucking
and
BBC
everything.
News who are like on to do it, and they're like, "Oh, it's so and so." It's like,
Yeah.
that's not their real name, Claire. It's just an alias of sorts. So
Yeah. Well, even on it feels weird to me. Like RLCS, the Rocket League World Championships, has just happened,
yeah,
and they go through that whole thing, and they go beast mode. Let's get beast mode down. You go, what are we doing? It just feels a bit like odd. Like they literally call them by their like gamer tags, if you know what I mean. It's just a bit.
that's why esports will never be a real sport because you just don't get that anywhere else.
No,
Chicolito, little P. So
But you know-
it can happen.
I get it though, because if they went like and they called someone down with their, because obviously everyone knows them by their like on screen. I don't know if you'd even call it gamer tag. I don't know what they are in esports. They're just kind of their name, right? If you
Yeah.
called them down and went, "Come down, John," they'd be a bit like,
Everything's a brand these days, isn't it? So
It
you have
is,
to- you
yeah,
have to- Although in saying that, on YouTube, I've noticed more people just using like a normal name, like their first name and surname. It's kind of tilting a little bit back to just using the person rather than a alias or whatever. So that's becoming slightly more popular.
yeah.
but-
I don't think it matters either way, but I know what you mean. It does feel a bit
Probably
weird
wasn't
going.
a valuable use of the audience's time, but
They can have
to
it.
air these grievances.
They
I mean,
can-
what we're
they
about
can
to
have
talk
it.
about probably won't last that long. So actually,
Villa.
it's they're much like this.
I
game,
think
potentially.
it's helpful to get our musings on the world.
Well, at some point there'll be bin chat returning because there's all change in that part of the world for yourself.
Bin chat.
You know, we used to talk about the bins and you know.
Oh yeah. No, it's all change in the bin
yeah.
world. Funny
I want to
enough,
give it
was
some
discussing
time. I
that
want it
this
to
morning.
really settle in before I get the full review of how bins are operating.
No, just on this, right? There is a whole group on Facebook moaning about the addition of wheelie bins, right? And I'm like, because literally you walk down some of the streets, obviously, where there's like more terraced housing and flats and stuff, and it's literally like 6 bins outside
Right, I've seen
people's
it,
house.
yeah.
I mean, technically you can have up to 8. So if you've got garden waste, you've got 4 bins per house, right? So there's people that are moaning, saying it makes the street look cluttered. What's happened to the aesthetic of our streets? What was wrong with bags? And literally people getting really annoyed about it. And I'm like, how in any way, shape or form are wheelie bins a downgrade on bags? I fundamentally don't get it. But then obviously in Wakering, they've always had that.
Yes.
In Southend Council, like Rochester District Council. But anyway, there's a dynamic. And it's interesting to me that people have gone like literally vitriolic about it.
They're not happy. I've seen it. They're not happy here either because they're introducing that sort of fourth bin for food waste only. So you can't bung your garden waste and your food waste together.
Yeah.
They give these little diddy boxes now. Well, that's what we're supposed to get.
Yeah.
You've already got people saying the foxes will get them. They'll be blown all over the streets. You'll be asking for a new one every week. I'll say, well, let's just see.
I've actually got the one thing that we've had for a while.
Is that?
So although we've got bags, we've got cardboard. We've got a little box that you have to put cardboard in.
Yeah.
Which has never been big enough. It's bizarre. They give it like a little box, and then you get a caddy for food waste. Now there are no issues with the caddy.
Right.
I mean, the one thing that it does do is get messy, stinky. That's my problem with it, is that there's pure food waste is a bit of a problem.
Can you put the biodegradable bags, like the food in the bag, and then put it in the
Oh yeah,
caddy?
that's what I did. Yeah, but still, like again, this is a problem that we've got here. The biodegradable bags don't have a tie handle on it, right? So the ones the council give you are just that. And you go, well, how am I supposed to like realistically be tying this up? Like it becomes a bit of a nightmare. They haven't properly thought it through. But that does work. I actually prefer it because a lot of people, and Cole Pilkington picked up on this many years ago, when people put bags out on the wrong night.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And basically what it results in is foxes, as you say, getting into them. And then there's crap everywhere, like literally down the road. And we don't have street cleaners anymore, so you have to figure it out yourself, which you don't have with wheelie bins.
No. But, we didn't have that problem with the food stuff because it went in the wheelie bin anyway, so that wasn't an issue. But now, I don't know. I don't like it because it was easy, and now they're like, well, and are they going to start charging for that garden waste removal? That's the next conspiracy.
Well, that's
kicking off.
That's
So
where we already get shafted through that. That's £100 a year, and you think I don't need that, and they go, well, if you want to get rid of it, you have to go to the tip. You go, well, that's a problem as well. So there's no ideal solution.
No.
But anyway, we're here to discuss video games, apparently.
Yeah.
And 2 bangers today.
Well, they're separate, aren't they? Separate segments.
No.
Yep.
Well, I'm in charge.
Well,
we put them together.
I'll make an edit.
All right. You can edit. But we're here to discuss games. Or a game.
A game.
Not bins, not current affairs, although potential spin-off. We're going to do a game that I don't know how to properly pronounce called Gris.
Spanish, so I don't know what the... There we go. What's this? It's going to tell me, is it? Nope.
What, is that Google? Can we do that? Can we do Google
normally
Translate?
You can, yeah. There's a way of... I mean, I was on...
Google Translate Spanish
It just says Gris.
to English. Enter text. Gris.
There's a painter called Juan Gris.
Grey.
Right. Might sum this game up nicely, actually.
Why does he not like that? It's actually, so I've done the listen thing and it's Gris.
Yeah.
Gris.
Waiting for your coffee.
Yeah. That was a joke that I did off air. So basically, when we were talking off air, I was figuring out how to pronounce this. And yeah, when I order my coffee for pickup, they don't do it so much now, but you walk in and obviously my name is Chris, right? So we go in there. Actually, it's not obvious. We discussed this at the outset. Some people probably don't even know that, but my name is Chris. We go in there and they go, you obviously write it down. But sometimes when you walk in, they'll call it out. And then there was this specific lady that whenever I walked in there, she had a bit of an accent and she went, Gris. And that's how I pronounced Gris.
Yep. Yeah.
It means grey in Spanish. So there you go. That's interesting. That makes more sense, doesn't it?
The grey definitely does. That translation clearly has a double meaning.
Right.
For the
So
excitement.
we're going to discuss that. But one thing I immediately noticed when I looked at the trailer was it's made by Devolver Digital.
Well, they publish
which
it.
seemed familiar. Ah, right, okay.
So what they do, Devolver, your reason why you recognise them is because they publish fucking loads of games, like loads of like smaller games. Like what you call an indie game, they publish it, so they help them get to market.
I bloody knew it. Baby steps.
Yeah.
That's where I've seen it recently. How publishing that, by the way? That is mad.
Cult of the Lamb's another popular one. There's things like Weird West, Death's Door, Serious
Death's
Sam
Door as well.
Carry On, which I've played. Well, literally My Friend Pedro, Observation, Gris. There's a lot of, so they get through like half a dozen games a year. So they work with these smallest, what you can only assume to be smaller studios. Nomada Studio, these guys are called, and they get them to market. They help them get to market. Obviously, there's a financial incentive, you would imagine, so everyone wins. But yeah, it's kind of like a label I look at for the smaller games. It's sort of not necessarily a seal of approval, but generally they get good stuff on there. And that's not to say everything.
It's kind of like a basic,
it's a little filter
to go through. Filter, yeah.
It's a little filter for me, and that's not to say everything I like or would play, because that's not the case at all. But one, maybe two a year, I'll see and think that goes in the backlog somewhere in the back of my head, and I think I'll get to that one day. And most I don't, but the odd one I do. And the only reason really this is getting gone, well, yeah, I might do. The only reason this is getting played is because Paper was talking about it. He played their Nomada Studios' latest game called Neva or Neva, I can't remember. There's a pronunciation on that, probably Neva. And he was talking about that, and he was like, "Oh, it's the guys that did Gris." And I was like, "Okay, I remember him talking about this." And he was quite high on Neva, and I was like, "You know what? I'll chuck it on a backlog, like I said. If I'm at a loose end, Gris will be done. And I was at a loose end. I checked on whatever PlayStation Plus membership I've got, and it was sitting on there as part of that. So I was like, well, might as well use it. So we downloaded it, and Palette Cleanser territory was installed, and here we are, back to talk about Gris.
Yeah, so I I had a little gander at the trailer to see what it's about. As usual, I come into these quite dark most of the time, but it seems like one of those sort of atmospheric, arty, journey-ish style games. Like, you know, that I kind of, it's weird, isn't it? How some of these games I don't expect to be surprised by them. Like, you can watch a launch trailer and go, I basically think I know most about what this game is going to be. But what I'd like you to tell me is if I'm miles off that. I mean, one of the interesting things as well, when I've gone on, I love seeing just some of the start, like the wording, if you like, on YouTube, right? Because it is interesting. I think I said to you before, like there's the one underneath, like if you search Gris on YouTube and nothing else, like the top one is the launch trailer from PlayStation, which you expect to be up there. And then you'd probably expect, you know, there to be your IGN review and so on. No, the next one is from Evan Online. Don't really like to shout him out, but I will. How Gris became my favourite game, which I think I said to you was an interesting second one.
How was that video out of
4 years ago? 50k views in 4 years.
Yeah. This was originally came out in 2018, so it's not a new game. It didn't come to PlayStation, I don't think, to 2019, and
yeah, that aligns
Xbox
with time frames. Yeah.
2022, but it was on Switch, I think, and Windows before that.
No pressure, by the way, but there's also a short here with 10k views that says Gris is a 10 out of 10 indie game.
I mean, to be fair, it won a few awards at like the various game awards. I think it got Games for Impact in 2019, nominated at Golden Joysticks, nominated at GDC, won Best Visual Art. I'm seeing here DICE nominated for Outstanding Achievement Animation and Art Direction. So it definitely was one of these little darlings that popped up back in the day.
All the plaudits, it seems.
Well, yeah, for the year of 2019, and it wasn't really on my radar until Paper mentioned it. Though it wasn't like one of those games that I'd added myself. It just happened that we were chatting and he mentioned it, and I was like, oh, it's there. Oh, let's just do it. I knew it wasn't long.
Maybe this is why he's top of the FGL, eh? Or the Grand Prix, or I can't remember what it's called. I always lose track of names, but
the title.
He's up the top there because he knows his. I mean, to be fair, he has always been tagged with this sort of the indie. No, it's the indie. I don't want to call him a king. I don't like that. That doesn't sit comfortably. But he's always been in and around those indie games, so you'd expect him to know, what is capable and what's not. But let's dive into it then. Probably what do you think the game's about? It's some sort of journey, 2D side scrolling, going through levels of some sort.
Well, here's what the score page says. And to be honest, the first time I read it, I didn't capture this, so I should have read this before I started, but I decided not to. I went in completely blind, other than what the little things Paper said. Gris is a hopeful young girl lost in her own world, dealing with a painful experience in her life. Her journey through sorrow is manifested in her dress, which grants her new abilities to better navigate her faded reality. As the story unfolds, Gris will grow emotionally and see the world in a different way, revealing new paths to explore using her new abilities. So clearly it's one of these types it's set in a weird and wonderful world, and it's the mentality of the individual, i.e. Gris in this scenario. You're sort of working through, I guess, her thoughts and things like that, which I didn't know. I didn't really get when I was playing the game. But just not to crap on it immediately, but it's hard. That's not communicated efficiently or effectively, and probably for good reasons. They want it to be a bit ambiguous, but if you just come into the game and don't at least just read that first paragraph, you're going to be like, what? I understand what I'm doing mechanically, but I don't be understanding what all these statues are and what's going on here. It's one of these ones where it's trying to be too clever.
Page. That's your fault. User error.
Yeah, but sometimes they put fucking spoilers in the store page.
Yeah,
but for 4 hours, I didn't think I needed it. I thought, well, this won't require any sort of prior reading, but clearly did.
To be fair, I for the same reason as you, I don't look at store pages because why? I like to watch a trailer. I think the trailers are a useful thing to get a bit of a flavour as will I or will I not enjoy this. But I sometimes find the store page a bit too revealing. I mean, it can go the other way where it tells you nothing.
There are plenty of those.
I don't do that. I don't like to read what I'm doing. It should take me through that story, and I feel it's a bit of a failure of the game if it doesn't. I have to be honest. I shouldn't have to read a store page, as you say, to understand what's going on. That should be done through the narrative storytelling of the game and its characters.
Yeah, but you always have these games that they don't want to tell you. They want to just write out in a sentence. They want you to understand it through the gameplay. And sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Sometimes you get Joker 2, and you get that being poured out on top of people. Part 2. What's that mean? Part 2?
I assume so, yeah.
Yeah, and you get people trying to be a bit too clever for their own good. But a lot of these sort of indie type games do have a slant of this where you're not really exactly sure what's going on. There's quite a few of them that aren't direct. And here's the setting.
I think that's become quite fashionable, hasn't it? Like,
of course, it's critic bait. It's there for that reason. And it's probably they want to feel like they're doing something creative and not just we're there for a smart audience, not the mainstream. There's all this sort of stuff going on nowadays, and that's when you end up with Part 2 getting crapped out at record losses for WB. But nonetheless, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. In this case, I didn't really understand necessarily what was going on. I had an inkling of I think there's something here, some sort of trauma, whatever, there normally is in these sort of things. But never could I tie it all together and understand exactly what the meaning was. And you sort of a read afterward and you think, oh, okay, yeah, that's lost on me. So at that point, it's failed in my eyes for that, from a narrative perspective. So you're left basically with, was the mechanics of the game good, and was it enjoyable to actually fundamentally control and walk around in? And that's where. So
you didn't get any of that narrative arc then, really? So you were genuinely going through it going, why am I doing any of this?
Because it doesn't make sense. It's not real. It's not grounded in a reality. It's grounded in a fucking head. So you have all these metaphors and all this sort of stuff, which I understood something had happened, and this was a way of working through whatever that was, but never could really piece exactly what everything meant. Like, what's that fucking statue doing there?
Right.
What does this mean? What does that mean? A few bits I was like, oh, maybe that means that. But then it's so short, really. By the time you've even got into gear to think about it, it's kind of over, and you're like, well, I haven't got to worry about it anymore. It's the credits have rolled. You're sort of sitting there.
So basically, you didn't know what was going on with any real certainty.
Not really, no. And I don't think that'll be uncommon. I think people will.
Sorry, that's not a criticism of you necessarily. It just seems like and especially when I think about these sort of games with your specific interests, like, I will quite happily play something that's dumb and fun. And I'm not saying you wouldn't, but you I feel like you love to go a level deeper than I particularly might care about. I think it's what I'd say. Like, you really appreciate a narrative and a story, probably, and I do, but to a greater depth than I would. Like, if I played something and I just went, this is dumb, I enjoy it. Like, I don't feel like sometimes it necessarily has to be deeper than that. Whereas your brain will analyse something for more deeper and be longing for it slightly more, I think.
Yeah. But
I mean that as a compliment, not as something critical. And I think if you don't have that in a game like this, you're probably more like, what the fuck am I playing here, than I necessarily might be.
Yeah, I didn't react negatively towards it. I was kind of just like this. Like I said, I got a gist of it, but not
Yeah.
This happens. This is happening more and more often. I think where I understand the bare bones of a lot of games and stories, but where they try and get maybe not meta. Meta is not the right word. Where they try and tell too much through environments or gameplay mechanics and things like that. I get lost and I'm a bit like, okay, well, it's not the end of the world, but you've lost me a little bit there. And normally there's a path to recovery later on, but yeah, I've played a lot of these games where that's been the case though, where I've not really fully understood the minute details, but you can get the gist of it, and it's like, okay.
You go, something's weird here. Like, where's this happening? This ain't happening in reality. So you sort of just go, all right, alternate reality of some sort. Tick that off as that. Yeah. So you said this is more around mechanics and things. I mean, one thing that I probably would like to understand from you is that there is, again, quite high up in this research, the whole original soundtrack. Which made me believe that there must be some demand for it, that people must have enjoyed it to put it out there. 2.4 million views and listens, so maybe that's something that's good.
I'm surprised this sold that many copies in itself. Maybe people have left it on autoplay and it's just been put in their feed. But
yeah, I mean,
no, it's got a nice. If you look at the presentation, including the audio, it's got a very nice atmosphere to it, despite it being just a 2D game. So animations and sounds and soundtrack, along with the environments, the 2D sort of art that they've kind of put into this is interesting, and that's one of its strengths. Really, is it kind of holds that throughout. It's in what could be quite a boring set of levels and things. They do kind of enough with the look and the feel and the sound of it to keep it interesting, and then they kind of bundle on top of that a few mechanics that are rolled out throughout the game. You can't really get lost. There's no real failing other than like missing a platform. There's no real frustration with the game unless you're stuck on a puzzle. The puzzles are very light. A couple of times I was a bit like, what's going on here? And then you just sort of stop for a second and see what the mechanic is, and you can work it out. But it comes together quite nicely in that area. The presentation, obviously, performance isn't an issue for this, but the way it's kind of comes together with the actual gameplay is nice. Despite obviously what we've talked about with the narrative being a bit, even if you get the narrative, fine. But if you don't, there's still just about enough here, I think, to keep you engaged. It's between 3 and 4 hours I took. And that was sort of a perfect length. There was there's like these collectible things that you can get, and I believe that can lead to like an additional cutscene or something like that. I did initially try and get those, not because I knew that was the case, but just I was thinking, I'll go for every corner, try and find exactly, all the little extra puzzles and whatnot. But it seemed like, I don't know if it's true, that there are points of no return in certain areas where you can't get back to them. I could be talking out my arse there, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
And one thing it was tricky was it's fine to go in the linear direction of where the game wants you to go for the next sort of main area, but as soon as you try and explore or go back, that's when I started getting a bit lost, and I was like, hang on, I need to just focus on the carrot dangling here and move forward, because I'm going to get snarled up and lost in this area. But there's these little extra like orbs that you can collect. There's no gameplay benefit to it. It's just that you become aware that they are collectibles, because there's sort of like, I don't know, like a statue, and it'll have like 3 dots, and 2 of them are lit up where you found the optional bit, but the third one's not. And you kind of think, okay, so there is a tracker in the game, which leads me to think that you can go back and get them all, but it does have chapter select once you finish the game, where you can go back to specific chapters and parts within those chapters, which kind of makes me wonder whether actually it's you have to use that if you've missed a few, because there's no real, I can't think of a reason why you'd want to offer that as a solution to people unless they need to go back and get stuff that they couldn't get otherwise. So waffled there. I don't know what that was even about.
Potential end game cutscene and collectibles that you basically decide It's a little sly dig that it doesn't make it easy to go and get them, I think, or that they might be. If you miss them, that's it. You have to go play through another 3 hours all over again to get them all.
I think it's one of those games though, that if you went back and replayed it, and then I think you'd have to follow a guide to a certain extent, because I think there are points in the game where you can't get back, not easily anyway. Yeah. But once you know what to do, you could rattle through this game in an hour or 90 minutes, I think. You know, if you knew exactly where you were going. So it's not that big a task for people to go back and do that, but I've got no interest in that.
No, that's fair.
Crap.
So, yeah, he did a little bit. So is it literally just platform to a puzzle?
Yeah, there's a lot of platforming. There are things like, for example, there's like weather hazards that will blow wind in one direction, so it'll blow your character back, but you learn the ability to sort of turn to a block. So the wind will blow, you're like, oh, block, it can't move you. The wind will stop, move forward, wind starts again, block. So there's that sort of puzzle element where you're using the abilities that you pick up throughout. Initially, when I was playing the game, I was like, this is really basic. Like, we've only got this block, which seemed like a lot of it felt like one of the longer parts of the game was having that kind of block as the power. But as you go on, you get more advanced stuff, and then it's like, okay, now maybe you need to use the block as like something to break through the environment. There's wobbly bits, but you might need to tip a scale or something using the block, but you need to be high up to jump off. And as with many puzzle games that are competently built, it starts to expand and bring in combinations of the powers that you get, and you become a lot more agile, and you can get around quicker, and you can reach places that you couldn't before. So yeah, those what it seems like very simple, early, basic platforming does become a bit more complex, and it's kind of like, stop, okay, I need to figure out how to get to that ledge up there, knowing what I know, knowing all the different abilities that I've unlocked. Okay, here's the environment that I'm working in, let's go.
Right. I mean, is there anything else that you specifically want to call out on this? Like,
it has,
when you're playing it?
Dual sense, adaptive triggers, and haptic feedback, which was nice.
Well, since it got added onto PS5?
Yeah, this was the PS5 version of it, but often smaller games like this don't, because it's just an unnecessary addition. But that was a nice feeling to have the haptics and some of the sound coming out of the controller and all that stuff. So I always like to make a note of that, because it's I do think it adds a lot to the games. It's the only thing other than the sound and the visual that can feed back certain things. So always a tick in the box if they're using that dual sense, and those at Gris did it, and you don't often see it in these smaller titles. So good on them.
Hats tipped to them then. On that note. Okay. Is there anything else you want to call out then?
I don't think so. It's just one of those. It's one of those games. It is the palate cleanser. If you're going to write an example, this would be one of them.
So just one thing I just wanted to cover quickly. It was available on PS. I don't know what they're called now. PS Plus.
PS Plus Extra. This one was on. So that's the middle tier. Yeah. If you want to buy it, it's £13 UK, one free, $12.99. So I think that's in around the right area for 3 to 4 hours. Less than 5 is what I categorise these sort of games as.
Yeah, I don't really know what I ever put these on in terms of to
be honest, it's the sort of thing actually that it's £13, right? Which isn't a great deal in the grand scheme of things when there's coffees going for nearly a £5, which is just coffee. But it's I still think, well, had it not been in the subscription program, would I have paid full price for it? Probably not. I do find these shorter games, this is where the subscription services I find the most useful, because they're sort of one and dones. You can get through them relatively quickly. The counter to that is, though, that actually, if you look at the value proposition, playing a game for £13 rather than a £70 game, if you look at the value of what you're using your subscription for, you're better off playing the £70 game, because You know, if you'd bought that, you'd be further out of pocket. But I just find it more, I don't know, appetizing just to play smaller things on these and stuff that I know is going to be worked through in short order, and then, you know, can be put on the done pile, ticked off and reviewed, and then done, rather than you know, something that goes on for 50 hours where you think, oh, I don't want another month to tick over here because then I've wasted it. So I like these little titles on the subscription. So, and obviously for them as well, they get a bit of a cash injection. So on these,
I like playing the smaller titles. That's what I basically ended up using Game Pass for the majority of the time, was for the little indie games that come on there. So yeah, I agree. Interestingly, on Steam, you can buy the Gris soundtrack for £8.50.
That seems expensive considering the game's 13 quid. Like over half of it on the soundtrack.
I wish I could see how many.
That's mad.
There's 27 tracks on it.
Really? Well,
yeah. I mean, there's one on there that's 10 minutes, but yeah, they're all like a couple of minutes or whatever. Yeah, I just thought I'd have a look on, see how much it was on Steam.
Yeah,
$12.79 on Steam. Then yeah, two things, like the third one in the list is the Gris soundtrack. I was like, I thought it said 50p at first, and I was like, is it 50p? £8.50 for the official downloadable version. Yeah, I mean,
wait for a sale would be my advice, or just go on YouTube and it'll be on there.
Well, that's why it was.
It was
at 2.4 million views or whatever it was. Yep. Yeah. All right. Well, look, let's get this one over to the gallery, shall we? And get the keys out, unlock it. Wow. Might need a little bit of WD-40. It's felt like it's been a while. What?
It might not get in there.
I'm happy with that.
Self-storage.
Well, the self-storage we should have to go through, don't we? Because there's no back entrance
in the car park.
To the gallery. Yeah, but you have to go through. In my mind, no? In my mind, the way that I've always pictured this, and we've never had this discussion, but I always imagine pulling up outside the front of a gallery, right?
You're thinking the galleries in like London where there's no access to the... Yeah.
I don't know why. I've pictured this as like more New York.
Yeah,
I would say it's like a New York style setting, and you pull up out the front, and there's one of these big sort of like tall buildings, and then you sort of have to go up some stairs. You fumble around. There's a big lock. You have to undo that fucker, get through. Big door, double doors actually, doors. You go through one of the double doors, and then there's sort of the gallery, and you have to go through it to get to the back. And then I imagined out the back, you know, like one of these typical New York fucking bins, one of those big bins out there, and we just go out there and just chuff it in there.
Well, that's the botchling bin, but yeah, the self-storage container is out there as well. But it's not as grotty as the dirty old bin where the botchlings get put. But yeah, I mean, that's... People can interpret the gallery however they want. So if we need to get the keys out, we need to get the keys out.
So yeah, anyway, it could go one of three ways. It could go in the gallery. Gets in the exhibition in the gallery, I would say. Yeah. And then it can go outside to self-storage or even further on into the fucking botchling bin.
Only goes in the bin if people ain't finished the game.
Is that the rule? So you can't... it has to go in self-storage if it's completed. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because that is the rule of the botchlings,
the botchling
isn't it?
Is that you walked away from it, and that's where part 2 nearly ended up at one point, so... Yeah, it's this won't go in the botchling bin because I did finish it. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to play something this short and not get through it. I don't know how anyone would, even if you've only got 1% patience, you'd still be able to get through this, which works in its favour. Okay, so the question for you then is: does it get in the gallery or does it get in self-storage? That's the big question. And I normally give a prediction. Yeah, so
I actually would be saying I'm teetering on this one. I would say I think the biggest issue for me why I'm teetering with an indie game, because I think usually when you play an indie game and you've largely enjoyed it, you will put it in the gallery. The big issue for me is this whole issue around narrative and your inability to follow the narrative. Not inability, that's the wrong word, but the lack of clarity in the narrative in the story would make me err towards self-storage, because I don't think you'll fundamentally like that.
I don't fundamentally like that, but also I understand that there's plenty of films I watch and I think, what was that about? Like Revolver. I don't know if you remember seeing that. I was like, what the hell's this? Guy Ritchie. Do you remember when he did that?
Yeah.
And that's probably not a good example because I don't think that was particularly well executed.
Well, in his brain it was.
Yeah. That's
on the
trouble
script
with some of
paper, or
this
whatever,
creative.
but,
No. But so
Rotten
I'm not.
Tomatoes,
I've got a lot
like
of,
that, by the way, 13% that got. Let's just double check. But
Is that what it got?
anyway, yeah,
Christ.
13% of Rotten Tomatoes. That is not a good endorsement. But anyway, we
I went and
digress.
saw it at the cinema as well.
Did you?
Yeah, and I remember the guy when I bought the ticket, or was buying the ticket. He was trying to like say, "Look, don't be going to see this. Like, you have to really pay attention." I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." He's like, "All right." I was like, "Why is he bad vibed that before I even got in the doors? Let me make my mind up." So that Spectre Lumina, and to be honest, when I watched it, I was like, "Okay, that wasn't Lock, Stock. That wasn't Snatch."
No.
I don't know if that was actually sequentially the next film. I think it might have been. But I was like,
Jesus.
okay, it's...
I forgot it had Ray Liotta in it.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to watch it.
Andre 3000.
Yeah, not so
This
much
is
that.
bad. This is 20 years old, by the way.
I know.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
Anyway. That was
So
back in the
anyway,
days, as I say,
the
when
point
you did go
is
and buy
that I
tickets.
can still glean some enjoyment. Because even films I've like watched and thought, well, you know, the acting might have been good and... You know, it kind of pulls it through. There's certain sequences, and games have more of an opportunity to right the ship. I think if the narrative's not there, and I'm not even saying the narrative's bad. It's just that I think these games have to connect. Well, don't have to. In order to get the optimum experience,
You're still all fucking snarled up now.
you have to connect. You have to be connected with what's going on, don't you? Like, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Like if you're playing, if you're playing The Last of Us Part 1, and you go, I don't really like this kid. Like a lot of the story isn't gonna. You're not really gonna give a toss, are you? Like, so it's one of those things. It can happen at different levels, but it wasn't like it was. I don't mean it was poorly told. It was just, you know, it's just one of those things where I wasn't particularly enthralled by it. I didn't want to know what happened next because half the time I didn't know what was going on. But nonetheless, I kind of understood at high level, 20,000 feet, that okay, it's one of those. We kind of feel like I've seen it or heard about these sort of narratives many times before. But having said all that, I like the gameplay, I like the light puzzles, I liked the style, music, etc. Some interesting use of mechanics, and therefore it goes in the gallery. It survives the self-storage and earns itself a lovely bronze. Goes lurking there, so... Yeah, not a perfectly executed game, but an interesting one nonetheless. And if you want to just sit back and really, it's no stress. I think that's one thing I think I miss in games sometimes is the lack of stress. Not all the time. You need a bit of intensity, but sometimes you need a fucking break, don't you? And this is the perfect game just to take a break. Just hour a day, bang, within a week you kind of done it, and you're recharged, then you're ready for the next challenge, let's say. So I hadn't really played a game like this for a while, and it was nice and easy to get through, relaxing. So yeah, this is sort of like fun, this sort of gaming 101. So bronze for Gris.
I do like those. I think I've certainly, I think over the past few years, kind of, obviously through the old pandemic and whatnot, kind of got more into the appreciation of the palette cleanser versus AAA or the multiplayer and stuff. Like everything's got to have a little bucket and a bit of playtime in there somewhere. And I really do like when, as you say, I don't want them to be as up their own arse as they can be sometimes, but like generally those little games that have got like fun little loops in and they're quite simplistic and harmless, like are good little things just to enjoy without getting worried about where you're going to get your head sniped off from or whatever it might be, or the stress of a final boss or whatever, all those little things. Like, it's just something where you can actually enjoy a game and a story without the constant fucking peril all the time.
Yeah, these sort of... Yeah, they definitely are. That's why I kind of like those narrative games as well. Like, say, like what's the last one I played? That Lost Records. Because there's no fail state.
Yeah.
Like, you just keep going. At least there is a bit of a fail state. Like, if you can't do the button inputs to make the jump or work out the puzzle, your progress will be halted. But it's, you know, for any gamer that's played for more than a year, you'll be able to get through this no problem. But it's just nice having those, like you said, no worries about getting your head taken off or when the next boss is coming, or if you're playing some game with RNG, what drop you're going to get, and like roguelikes, for example, they're the ultimate stress because you can get fucked over on your run, and it's like, this is just like, I would like to seek out more of these. I think it's hard to find them because there's actually too many of them. I'm sure there's a dozen other games similar to this that I'd enjoy equally as well, but it's just trying to pick out one or two of them.
It's a fucking sea of stuff, isn't it, nowadays? Like, it used to just be like, it used to have the Xbox Arcade or Steam or whatever it is, and it used to feel like a much smaller pool. And the stuff I found that did sort of wangle its way into like Xbox Game Pass was, as you say, it was a filter. Generally, there was a filter there. Nowadays, it's like a fucking free-for-all, it feels like, because I've been bitten by it. And there's so much shit on there. I'm like, how much of this is actually now worth playing or not? And it is tricky. So I think, the Devolver Digital one is not one that I was particularly familiar with, but I will use that as one of the yardsticks for meeting acceptable criteria going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is one of those games to earmark if you're in between games or want just a break from the breakneck speed of a lot of modern day titles, and Gris is worth one going back to. And then when that Neva ends up maybe on a sale even, I'll be looking to add that in as well and go through that at some point during a gap. So it's done its job, Gris. It's got me interested in what Nomada Game Studios are up to, or Nomada Studios. So I'll just have them little earmarked when they release another game. I'll be up there. Paper's fault, one of Paper's little darling new studios that he's found, and he's put me onto this. Sometimes it just takes a recommendation, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Nice.
But Gris earns itself a nice bronze in the Dimp Digital Gaming Gallery. For now, we'll bid the audience adieu and say we'll see you on the other side. Surfer Midnight. Adkins. Playing for all the Game Pass fodder.
This is...
It does feel a bit foddery this year from them.
Does, yeah. They do have chucked some stuff out a lot.
Yeah.
Like that.
Bit of a Avowed earlier in the year.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Actually, they haven't chucked a load of crap out, really. But it's difficult, though, because they got Bethesda and Activision. It's hard to keep up with what they should be messing around with.
Will you play that new Call of Duty?
Absolutely not.
Oh, well, you're not?
No.
It's like, it's supposed to be like Destiny, isn't it, apparently?
Well, that's not selling me anymore.
That's true. 4-player co-op.
Yeah.
It's like, Christ.
I haven't got time.
Assume it'll be day and date on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Was the last one?
Yeah, that was the first one. So
was it? Yeah.
They were kind of laughing with that.
Yeah.
So it's made it feel like there's loads of games from Xbox because they've been releasing stuff on PS5 as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Every month they've had something to drop.
They've had some big third parties as well, though, haven't they? Like Expedition 33.
Yeah. That's been on Game Pass.
That Fantasio's just been on there. Yeah, there's loads. Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's quite a lot on there to play.
There's always stuff to play on there. It's whether you want to play the stuff that's on there.
Yeah, I do agree what you and Thing were playing. It gets to the point where you like start playing stuff just because you think, I've got to play it because I've got this subscription.
Yeah.
So I found that, right, I started to do a little list. I was like, right, here we go.
That's that.
That's that.
South of Midnight, developed by Compulsion Games, and they were purchased by Microsoft in 2018? So this is actually their first title since the purchase. I actually really liked the look of We Happy Few when it first was.
So did I. And so did Yellow Boots.
I remember you saying this, yeah.
He said he was going to play. I was like, really? And then when I see the gameplay, or like what the style of game was...
that's not what I thought it was going to be.
No, it weren't. Yeah, it wasn't. I thought it was going to be like a sort of Bioshock kind of single player thing. And it was like a sort of like... I don't know what it was in the end.
It was a survival game.
Yeah, survival game and crafting and stuff. Inventory management. So I never did give it a go, but it looked cool, the setting and stuff.
Yeah, I was
but that was-
surprised at how that ended up coming out. But a 63 on OpenCritic.
Was it?
That's the quality of
Cool,
what
that's the
Compulsion
sort-
are offering.
Right.
And so I didn't bother getting it once I saw the reception and saw what it was. I was like, oh, yeah, that's not quite what I was after. They released a game in 2013 called Contrast.
Oh yes, yeah. Again, never played, but again had that same sort of crazy style. They've definitely got this. I'd call it psychedelic watercolor.
Right.
It's got this weird psychedelic-y watercolor theme to all their games.
Contrast, a 60 on OpenCritic.
Oh, they love a 60. Guess what
I'm
this is
starting to
getting?
think they're not all that. This Compulsion games, if I'm being honest. So we're not. So we're aware of their previous games, but
We're aware of their previous,
not
but
hands
never
on.
No hands on.
And South of
unfortunately.
Midnight's their first game since the purchase and the merger.
Acquisition.
Expecting full AAA scaled up budgets is what I was expecting of these developers. They haven't done that. They've kind of just left them as it is. Helldivers, Hellblade, AAA looking, indie length, clocking in at a clean 5.5 hours. So
Cool.
I thought these they were going to put a lot more money behind these teams, but maybe that's not the right thing to do anyway because you're changing the makeup of them. But South of Midnight, one of the Game Pass Xbox Game Studio games, the fodders of 2025, a clean getaway. Kind of has a, like you said, the water paint thing, but it definitely has a unique visual style to it.
That's what sort of drew me in, to be honest. It was sort of watching the trailers for it.
And the frame rate.
It has that weird sort of I'd
stop motion type.
Yeah, liken it to a bit like what was that? The Spider-Man films, Into the Spider-Verse. It's got that very. That's it. Yeah, a lot of style of that. Also, what I tell you, what fucking I did learn from playing this is I fucking love a 12-hour game.
Right.
Between 10 and 15, that is my fucking pinch point. I mean, the trouble is, the absolute fucking, when you talk about the best games in the world, they're all fucking like 50, 100-hour games. But Adkins, with his short attention span that's been ruined by social media and TikTok and all that shit, a fucking 12, I think that's how I played this for. Let's have a look. Whilst I look. But yeah, a game of this length where it's very story narrative driven, and I played this game for a whopping 12 hours. So perfect length it was for that sort of style. You can get it done, have a little go, and on to the next.
On to the next.
But yeah, it really was just that style. It looked really cool. A setting, it's my sort of game as well, a narrative driven third person action adventure, thing. It's got that sort of mishmash of all the sort of games in that genre. It was just watching the trailers. The trailers were sort of a bit crazy, with the sort of the story setting, the sort of character designs and the enemy designs, and that's what drove me to play it. So I finally got round to it, booted it up on that Game Pass on the PC, and I've very much enjoyed my time with it. It isn't a perfect game by any stretch. Its weakest part by far is its combat,
right?
And the way you do combat. Okay. So basically,
under weaknesses, you've put combat. Compulsion.
You've put combat, and that's your bread and butter, isn't it? That's your job, isn't it? You could have put eczema, but no. You put combat. And down. So basically, how the levels go through, you go through the level. And it's almost like a sort of story. It's set in chapters, and you have this narrator telling the story, and you're going through, and it's all very linear. Like I say, very narrative-driven game.
It's in the deep south.
In the deep south. Yeah, it's a bit
not South End though.
Not South End. No. south of midnight.
Yes.
The south of America, yeah. Yeah, it's got that very country hick vibe to it. The characters are really cool though, and the characters you meet across it. I'm gonna have to have a refresher to see what the cover, because the names of the characters have gone out of my Hazel. That was it. That's the main character.
She's a weaver.
She's a weaver. Do you know what a weaver is?
I imagine some sort of magic witch or something that can do
Exactly that. Not someone who weaves.
No.
With materials.
No, magical materials.
It is.
I
yeah.
saw her doing all that shit in the trailers, like pulling string and like doing. And I was like, oh, that'll make some good combat. Seemingly not.
I mean, the combat is there. Like it gives you the tools for it. Like the weapons that you use, and like you say, she is a weaver, so she has a tool that can induct her weaving, and you use that in tools, like as weapons. But yeah, how you go through the mission it's very linear. You'll start the level, go through it, and getting through to the next section. But what you come across is like these little arenas. So all you do is you go into these arenas, and then you get a sort of like 3 or 4 waves of the fucking same enemies every time, and that's it throughout the whole game. And then you have cool boss battles, but the boss battles are brilliant. That's the best part of the combat, boss battles. But those arenas are so fucking repetitive and so boring. And like I say, the characters, they introduce new characters, but they're just different versions of the same fucking enemy. And yeah, it just becomes monotonous. So much so that there's even an option to turn it off.
I saw this.
And someone said that they had a better experience playing the game by not playing the combat, just playing through the game like as a story. Someone reviewed it and said, he said, I played it twice. I played it with the combat, and the second time I just played through it and missed all the combat, and it was such a better experience. I was like, fuck me, if you're doing that,
yeah, it's not great,
there is a fundamental problem with your game. And it's a shame, because like I say, the combat's, it's like a third-person action game, so it's essentially a hack and slash game.
Right, yeah.
And you get there's a very small skill tree that you upgrade and get some new abilities to use. But when you're fighting against the same 5 fucking enemies, you're just getting more of them in these arenas that are exactly the same in every fucking area. So basically, you walk into this area and it'll be surrounded by fucking like vines and fucking blight or whatever. You get through 3 or 4 waves of these enemies, and then that opens up, kills the blight. This game reminded me a lot, and talking of that, it reminded me of that Kenner Bridge of Spirits.
I was going to say the exact same thing.
Do you remember that's what it had?
I was just waiting for a moment to drop that in there.
Yes.
And say this looked so much like that.
Yes.
Especially once they showed the gameplay of it, 'cause all the story stuff to start with, it was all like story trailer. I was like, this is quite good or like different.
Yes.
And then I saw the game running around, and I was like, hang on a minute, that looks a bit like. And Kenner, I liked.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Kenner. Yeah, but Kenner had variety, and it wasn't just fucking arenas full of the same shitty enemies. Yeah. So I would be intrigued to play this again and turn this combat off. But yeah, it was if it had more variety and weren't like if you could just randomly bump into enemies, but you don't.
Right.
You just the only
so
enemies.
You'll walk in and go, right, here we go.
You walk in and go, here we go. That's the next bit. There's some that are optional. I did them all just because I was trying to get the achievements, but
did you get them all?
No, I didn't. No, there was one I missed. I've got to go back. There was one that was like really annoying. I can't remember what it was now. Was it like... Hang on. It's on here. I can't remember what it was now. It's something like you have to collect or do every move, but now it's like rather than now going back through characters, now I've got to play the whole game again. So I was like, oh, fuck it, I'm sick of that. So I didn't want to play it. I didn't want to look at a guy because it's very narrative driven, and that's the best part of the game is the stories that are told and the characters that you meet are phenomenal. So I didn't want to spoil it. So I definitely could see myself going through this again and giving this fucking no combat run a go and seeing what I think. But yeah, it's just such a shame because it's a hack and slash, which I like hack and slashes. It's just these arenas were so certain, repetitive and boring, and yeah, such a shame because that really does drag it down. Yeah. Other than that, like I say, I enjoyed my time, a lot of it, but its bread and butter is its sort of storytelling, the characters and the setting. So throw some questions at me.
Is there any like traversal or platforming to fall back on?
Yes,
and is that executed well?
This is the best part of the game as well. Yeah, so as like I say, as you're going through these levels, you're platforming through them, and then stumbling across cutscenes, but also you're going
hear
to.
That, by the way, I mute when I do stuff like that. I was fucking about with my. I wonder if people are like thinking, "What's he fucking doing?" Make all this racket whilst I'm talking. Like, no, they can't hear. I'll mute my mic.
Yeah, the best part of it is
again.
Going through the story. This is the best part I like. Really try and put him off. I think I've lost my Traversal, that's it. Yeah. So yeah, the way, like I say, every level's it's set in chapters, and it's very linear. So you're going through the levels, but yeah, you're platforming through the level.
Yep.
To get to the next area, well, then it will get to like a story beat, or you'll get to a section where you go through a house, and then you can search that house, and you can go through sort of like it'll go to a picture on the wall, and then it will tell a story about this character that you're like. Each level is about a certain character in the game,
right?
And you sort of go through, tell their story, and ultimately ends in a big boss battle and a sort of a mini conclusion to that character's story.
Right, I see.
And yeah, so it goes through. But yeah, the platforming is really good. Not really good because there were like it's not on the levels of Uncharted 4 perfectly. There were a few times where some of the animations I did snarl. I was like, cool, but it's pretty forgiving in terms of if you fall into some water or something, it will just respawn you and give you a little bit of a dink of health. It's pretty forgiving, I'd say. But yeah, there is a slight bit of fluidity, lack of fluidity compared to the likes of fucking Uncharted 4. But it also gives you the tools for traverse as well. So you've got like hang glider, a bit like on Horizon. You also had one in Breath of the Wild, didn't you? Did you have one in Breath of the Wild?
Yeah, Horizon stole it off Breath of the Wild.
That's right. Of course it did. Of course we didn't, they said. And
it's like, well...
No, that's pretty... You did, you bastards.
It went there in your first game, which came out about a month before Breath of the Wild, and then your second game...
And you chiefed
it there.
They didn't have it in Kenner, did they?
No, we had that... Couldn't you, like
you had them little blob things you could manipulate.
The little Pikmin things, that you
that's
help control. But I think you could like not grapple hook, but almost like anchor yourself so you can like pull yourself across gaps.
Oh, of course you could do, So you can do that in this as well, and that helps with drivers. There's a few small puzzles. It's certainly not a puzzle game, but there's a couple of little light puzzles in there. Certainly in traversals, it'll say like you'll go to get into like a warehouse or something, and you'll think, how the fuck do I get into there? And that'll be a bit of a puzzle itself. You also have like a little, being a weaver, you can manipulate, I won't say who because it's a part of the story, it's like a certain character, and then you can then manipulate them, Dollman, and get Dollman to get through there.
Sam Porter Bridges nutsack. 20 hours.
Nutsack. He is, isn't he? I suppose.
He just chucks him there.
Reminded me of being the head out of Kratos. What was his name? Mimir. It's a bit like him.
He's a bit less chatty, but
and is he more useful than Mimir?
He's pretty. Actually, he's not as funny though. So Mimir is like god tier, like hilarious. I think.
He hasn't played that enough to warrant. But yeah, getting back to South and Midnight. Yeah, you have a little doll man that you can do, but yeah, like I say, the traversal's perfectly fine. Few bit of animation problems, but the real bread and butter of this game is its setting and story and characters. Like I say, it's set in the Deep South. It's basically the story is it starts off this character Hazel, who's living with her mum in the Deep South.
Hazel.
Her mum is a nurse. And there's
so she's
like
not a weaver then, this mum? She's just
no, I don't think so. No.
Does she know she's a weaver, or does something happen?
No, she doesn't know.
Right, so she's living a normal life. They're all
living a normal life,
right.
and there's a storm. That's it. There's a storm.
Someone will get washed away or something.
That's it. A house. She's living in a little house that's on like a river. If your house is on a river and you live in an area that's probably gets tornado season and that, don't have your house on the fucking river on stilts.
No. It's like these silly bastards on Death Stranding that keep putting their bridges by these rivers.
Oh yeah, that's true.
They flood now.
They flood the boat. Oh, cool shit. They get washed away.
The people putting zip lines like right on the bank. I'm like, what are you? That'll be gone in a week, and it is.
So these, so the house gets washed away, and the story is you sort of trying to find your mum, but it goes into this sort of fucking. It starts going into the supernatural, and I say it runs like a book. You get each chapter is a level is a chapter. And it starts becoming more mythological, whatever the fantasy, whatever it is, psychedelic thing. But yeah, it's got this really cool setting, like you say, set in the Deep South, has that sort of the Deep South blues music as well. That plays like a big role in it. You haven't seen the film Sinners, have you?
No, but I listened to the Drowning Pool's single of Sinners.
Oh, did you? Oh yeah, that was a great
good one, because we talked about that before. He fucking died after that.
Yeah, he did.
They've released about 8 albums. I'm like, hang on, his lead singer's been gone since the first one.
He drowned. I remember
he had a heart attack, didn't he?
He had a heart attack.
I said I thought he suffocated or like drowned in his sick or something, but he didn't. No, I thought he drowned in a pool to start with. Obviously, it was complete bollocks. And I was like, no, I think he was he vomited or something. And then it was like heart problems. I was like,
heart problem, probably on the blow. Bless him.
Okay.
That's it. It might not have been. He might have been a nice bloke. Anyway, the film Sinners, the Michael B. Jordan film, is a vampire film that was recently released, set in the Deep South. Was fucking brilliant and had a similar sort of vibe to this. Like I say, it was set in the Deep South, had very bluesy music, was very music orientated, a lot with like what this is.
Yes.
And yeah, it's just. Yeah, I mean, I will not go into spoilers because I implore people to play through it. I think I will implore people to play it without this combat because that sounds like the way to go. But yeah, I think it's a story that's worth telling. It's an interesting story. The characters that you meet in the story, there's some really interesting, fun, thought-provoking stories in the sort of small sections that you get. The characters and the designs, like you've seen some of like the fucking bosses and stuff like there's in the trailers, the fucking crocodile with like a village on his back. There's a catfish that follows you around. It's like graphically as well, this game, even though it is like a sort of on the elk, I wouldn't call it I suppose it is AAA, but it reminded me a lot of Kenner. Would you call Kenner AAA or AA?
No, I think that was AA at tops.
Yeah, exactly. So this feels more AA than AAA.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it is very good. And
I can tell you how we can confirm that. Because the way I do it is how much should they want to fucking charge for it?
There you go. That is true. I think it weren't too bad because I was going to purchase
35 UK pounds, so yeah.
It's a AA, I'd say, and yeah, it's top end of AA. It's a very good looking game, and I think a lot of that is down to its style.
Yeah,
very stylistic game. But yeah, I mean, other than the combat, it's really I did fuck with this game, so to speak.
With the story, you've obviously got these little individual stories, and you're finding out about characters and whatnot. Do they manage to? I'll be careful. Well, you're the ones who be careful, not me.
Yeah.
Do they manage to kind of? Does it tie together sort of nicely in the overarching narrative of what's going on, or does it feel disjointed? I guess is what I'm
No,
asking.
it doesn't. No, it does all sort of meld together, and each story, the conclusion of each story, matters to the overall theme of the game. Yeah,
Interesting.
they're just like a little collection of stories to go through to get to the end goal. And it really did sort of wrap it. That's what I think I enjoyed quite a lot about the game, is it did have that sort of nice sort of seamless transition, and then ended up wrapping a tight little bow at the end, and off you go. And like I say, the fact that it sort of, I was done by 12 hours, it didn't outstay its welcome. Like I say, the combat very lackluster, and the traversal perfectly fine, but lacks the polish of a AAA.
Yeah.
I think the fact that it was only 12 hours was a sort of a plus side for it. If you're doing that for 30, dealing with that for 30 hours,
It runs out of steam.
it runs out of steam indeed. But
Yeah, it shows a bit of restraint at least. A lot of these games decide, nope, we're going to double the length of that. And
No, that's right.
you're going to be sick of it when you get halfway through.
Definitely. No, I really would like to see Compulsion give this another go. Like, keep with this IP. I think this IP is strong. It's just whether it got enough people playing it to warrant them getting the second run through. That's the downside. Like I say, the boss battles in this game, they were brilliant. Like, that was because the combat was so boring, monotonous. It really, the boss battles stood out.
Interesting. So there was a way of, with the fundamentals that were there was a way of making it interesting.
Yeah,
because the
definitely.
boss battles are proof of that. It's just that
exactly. Yeah, it's just that
the fodder.
it was just that arena based. They need new varieties, spontaneous enemies as well. Not been these fucking arenas. And the combat was perfectly fine. Like, it was, they could upgrade that if they did a South of Midnight 2. And just really worked on the combat and kept the same sort of style and story, just progress it. I'd be bang up for that. I think that would have made it such a better game, because I really did enjoy this. Like, I was surprised at how much I enjoyed this, to be fair.
Yeah. It didn't get the best reviews in the world. It was better than their last, games that we reeled off. But I think the Open Critic was 70 odd.
Right. Yeah.
So it was kind of like in that
sort of realm. But I think it's just because the downside of the game is the combat, and fundamentally that's the game basically. I mean, I know it has the traversal and the storytelling, but people who, they don't like playing these sort of walking simulators and stuff. They want to play a game for
77. That's not too bad.
77. Yeah. So I mean, like I say, I think it's just because that's such a big factor of it. If like the combat was good and the traversal was shit, then maybe it would have scored higher. I think just because the combat was so meh, that's why. But no, I've got nothing bad to say other than combat about this game. I really did tickle my bollards this game. Surprisingly.
Excellent. Any other business for it? Anything?
No, just another shout out to the music, soundtrack. Yeah, soundtrack was really, really good. That was sort of, it's one of those games where there's just constant music playing throughout the whole thing, sort of background, and then it sort of rev up in fighting. That's probably the only good thing about the combat, is being able to listen to the music whilst it's playing. But it's hard to discuss anything else about the story without spoiling. So I just implore people to play it, give it a little run through. And
put that skip combat on, and
put that skip on, and I think you'll enjoy it. Probably get it done in it'd probably be sub 10 hours, I reckon, with no combat.
A couple of extra hours back in your life.
Yeah, and away you go. But yeah.
Lovely. well, judging by the mostly positive kind of vibes I'm getting off that, I would assume it will go into the gallery.
Straight in the fucking bins for it. I hate it.
The bin. Off you go.
No, it will go in, and I'm going to be proud. I'm going to be nice to it. I'm going to give it a silver.
Silver on the same standard as Avowed.
Avowed, yeah. That had. I'll tell you what. Go and speak to Oblivion, and they'll tell you how to do combat.
Yeah.
That game's combat was incredible.
Yeah.
For that ilk of game, they know how to do, and they'll just show you how enemies work and what to do with your good combat. So have that, and go and speak to Naughty Dog on how to do traversals.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got the storytelling and character design. That's a Naughty Dog-esque, but not.
You just hope that they don't get fucking axed by this ruthless Microsoft outfit now.
This is the trouble. I mean, if this didn't do so well on Game Pass, they've just got they've got so many studios now. They go, nah, fuck yeah.
Just seems
I'd like to see. Yeah, it really does, and they'll get fucking axed. Trouble is, you've got Fable coming up, and
where's that gone?
Yeah, where's that gone? That is very true. Fucking that could
we
be
haven't seen a lot. Like people going, "Oh, it looks really good," and I was like,
had like 2 trailers.
And it showed like gameplay, but it was all cobbled together. It was like little fight, and I was like, when they do that, I'm like, hang on.
This had. I mean, I know this was never in jeopardy, but they did release a bit of a gameplay trailer for this and showed you going through a level.
Like streams of like traversal.
There is a boss battle on there somewhere.
It's like a fucking. It's like a tree of a face or something. I don't know if that's like knocking around. I remember seeing that.
That's it.
But yeah, I think I'm assuming they'll look to try and port it to PS5 and maybe
that would be good. Give it some more things. Like I said, I can't report on the Xbox thing, so I don't know if that went into the reviews. I don't know how it ran on there, but it ran flawlessly on my beast, and like I say, was very impressed by the graphics and presentation and that performance. And I think you'd enjoy it. I think it's a game, it's of these ilk. We like these third-person action narrative games. I'll be interested for Biff to give this a go. I think the trouble with Biff is, he's not very forgiving. No. I think once he starts getting lackluster traversal, we'll go, fuck this, ain't playing this.
Honestly, I know you're saying the story's good, but I don't think he's gonna. If it's
he'll compare it to The Last of Us, and then he'll go,
if it's too soppy, he'll be like, bah.
Yeah,
no one's getting their fucking head caved in. He likes gritty sop, doesn't like.
He does like gritty sop.
Family
There's no guns in here as well. He's saying he's in a World War thing at the minute, and he's.
I sent him. I asked him to play that Hell Is Us demo that they released.
Cool.
He went, not for me. And I was like, and I sent him the Batman trailer that was at Opening Night Live.
That looks quite good actually.
They're too repetitive. They're one button combat, and I was like, "You're not wrong," but this one looked like it might have. It might have stolen the Arkham combat. So I was like,
it's even got the same bloody that little fucking gel bomb thing. Literally nicked it. So
exactly. It's got scenes out the film. I was like, have a little look.
But no, he never played.
More interested in playing BioShock on the Switch. So
on the Switch is he playing that? Yeah. Oh, no wonder he don't like Infinite.
He said he put it on for an hour and then turned the Infinite off. He's such a. And then there's the audacity to say 2's the best one. I'm like, come on. This must be a wind up.
That's got to be it.
Must be doing it on purpose. Like Stammer must be telling him stuff.
Yeah.
That'll annoy me. But anyway, South of Midnight, silver on the platter.
A very strong silver for me.
A strong silver. Better or worse than Avowed, just to make it awkward?
I liked it more than Avowed.
Bit shorter as well, wasn't it?
Shorter, my sort of game. Yeah, my sort of game.
Didn't have a 20-hour ending mission or whatever Avowed had.
Yeah. I think I enjoyed it so much. In my head, I'd put it as an 8.5.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's got in between a gold and a silver for me. So yeah, just pips Avowed. I think I give Avowed a silver, did I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed Avowed, but no, I enjoyed this a little bit better.
In the mud Avowed, go fuck yourself. South of Midnight, shorter, better, well written, characters, weavers, mud huts being washed away. Was it a mud hut?
No, it's a wooden one.
Well, that's no better, is it? Next to the fucking river.
No, if it's in the river.
Is it set in? I can't remember if
it's. I think it's a fictional town.
Oh, okay.
It is. Yeah, because it. Well, that's the thing, because that film was quite close to when it came out, and that film was set in the 40s,
right?
Or 20s, I think, 30s maybe. 30s, yeah, it's before the war. So yeah, that was set in the 30s. But I'm pretty sure this is modern day. even though there's not a lot to go by because the sort of
Why are they building things out of
Wow.
wood still? Is that what they do in the south?
yeah, they love
It's
it. They
stone
just
down. It's heavier. Water won't rot that. Especially
No.
next to a river. They're splashing up.
well, they do that. Like in America,
damp.
they don't have like proper roof tiles. They have like little lumps of felt. I suppose probably because they're getting fucking blown off by the hurricanes every fucking week. So you don't want fucking ceramic tiles flying around your fucking village.
I think I'll just move.
Yeah, same here.
I'll have to deal with that. Sinners, 8.5 out of 10 you gave it.
Did I?
Adcock
Yeah.
gave it an 8.5 out of 10 to the copier.
Yeah, that wasn't
And
good.
then you put the score in again, saying Sinners 8.5 out of 10. Missed this off the list. Should have been 28, like number
Did
28.
I review it twice?
No, you just forgot you'd put it in the chat and then tried to retrospectively re-add it. It was already there.
Oh, did I? Fucking tit. I thought I fucked that up. I'm sure because I watch it at the cinema and I normally always just put the score in as soon as I've been. Although I've been a couple of times since and not put my scores in.
Oh dear.
I've got a few on the back burner.
We're looking forward to
But-
them at 1 o'clock this morning once you finish
Yeah, that's
scrolling.
true. That's true. I've been doing laps upstairs.
Right, South of Midnight Silver, lovely jubbly. Take a look. It's on the Game Pass. It will be one of those games that stays on Game Pass, you'd imagine, because it's an Xbox Game Studio published title, so they don't typically disappear. But if not, 35 UK pans on the Xbox Store, all on Steam, and we'll probably, if they keep them around long enough, get a PS5 release in the future.
Like
Who
to see
knows?
that.
Maybe a Switch 2 release. Who knows what they're going to do with stuff like that.
Yeah,
Keep
we're
your
on
eyes
handheld.
peeled for South of Midnight because Adkins said it's a silver. Anyway, we will see you on the other side. There we go then, another episode of Idle Game Chat in the books. Just thought I'd close out this episode with Gaming's Most Wanted for 2026. And if you want that translated, it basically means our most anticipated games for 2026. All of the guys was asked to give over just one video game they're looking forward to in 2026. I count up the votes and I present them to you. I have a little chat about them. So, unsurprisingly, top of the list with 44.4% of the votes, it's Grand Theft Auto 6. Gonna be huge if it arrives. I think there's a definite concern that this will not arrive in 2026, which is why it's not got 100% of the votes, because I can't see another world where that's not getting, if not all of them, all but one. So I think there's just apprehension that it's not there, so therefore people have sort of excluded it. I don't want to get too hyped up, but if it arrives, it will be a absolutely huge deal, but we'll keep our eyes on that one. In second place, Fable, with 22.2% of the votes. Now, this is a reboot, it looks like, of the Fable franchise. Been a while. Playground Games looking to get that. The developer direct for Xbox is happening in a matter of days, so we should get hopefully a release date and a much deeper look at the game itself. So I think had we seen that late last year or very early this year, there may have been a few more votes for that in this world, because I think there was a few apprehensions around that. And Xbox really haven't managed to get out an absolute stunner, barring the Forza Horizon series. So this is the last sort of bastion for me in this generation. Like, for a single player action stroke adventure game, this is the one. I think there was other opportunities, obviously, to get a gold standard or a platinum standard game out there, but they haven't delivered. And Fable has the chance. It's in the wheelhouse where it would get a lot of critical interest and acceptance. It's that sort of game style, at least we think it is. And it's just about sticking the landing. So we'll see about that. Fable with 22.2%. Then the next three games are tied on 11.1%. We've got Resident Evil Requiem, which is coming very shortly. So I'm interested in that. I'm definitely going to play it. I am a little bit concerned about some of the things they've said regarding Leon's campaign and how there's kind of two separate campaigns going on here, and that he's more action based, hers is more stealth / survival horror. Doesn't sound exactly like Resident Evil 6, but that's what they kind of tried with that, with 3, well, maybe it was 4 campaigns now, I can't even remember. And that didn't come together well. Now, this is a different Capcom. I feel like they've got a much better handle on the Resi franchise, but there's a little bit of a flag up for me. Still very, very interested in, and barring a disaster in terms of reviews or performance or something like that, I'll try and get to it day one if I've finished the game I'm working through at the moment, but that is a big boy. Next one was World of Warcraft Midnight. So it's an expansion. These are huge content drops. That's another thing. I kind of wanted to open it up to expansions and seasons and things like that. If people were playing those games and looking forward to them. I think previously we haven't been too kind on things like Destiny 2 when they were releasing like massive content drops and just kind of, oh, it's not a game. Let's be a bit more open with that. And yeah, World of Warcraft Midnight, the next grand expansion for the World of Warcraft franchise. No surprises who put that one down, aka Salmon Finchy. And then finally the Division 3. So there's a lot going on in the Division world at the moment. There's rumours of a Division 3. There's rumours and different content drops happening, and a definitive edition for the original Division apparently on the table. And again, by the time me recording this and publishing it, that may well have already been confirmed or deconfirmed. But it's interesting. I've played the first 2 Division games. I think me and Logan went through both of them together. I think we're both kind of done, but we'll see. There's a path back. It is a PvE, which I like. I like a co-op game against the AI, and that's exactly what the Division is. I think it's in Division 2, they're adding a realism mode, so the bullet sponges are no more. Is that something that's going to function in Division 3 as an option for players? Who knows? But Ubisoft are messing around with that franchise all at once, so I'll be interested to hear what the Division 3 is. Is it maybe everything, coming together from the first 2 games and then a third content drop? Who knows? But the Division 3 has landed, so the rundown is for Gaming's Most Wanted 2026... Grand Theft Auto 6, Fable, Resident Evil Requiem, World of Warcraft Midnight, and The Division 3. I'm not going to hold you any longer, but as usual, thanks for your time, and ta-da.
This was a Dimp Digital production.